All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this fine Saturday evening. It is quarterfinals here in Unstoppable. We got Dorado Gaming, Iota versus Tenem versus Esports. Ethereal team joined with me, as always, are my two brethren, freaking Darter. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm not being
Good.
DDoS today. Let's go.
Oh,
Not an
to your
Xfinity gap.
face.
Let's go.
Oh,
No
You
longer
bet.
ISP diff. Yeah, I'm pretty good as well. Hyped up for playoffs.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
man.
That's awesome. So, like I mentioned, quarterfinals we got going on right now. Before we get into the draft of these two teams, can we pull the playoff bracket real fast?
Yes.
So that everyone can see what we're looking at. So for the next couple weeks, this is who we have: Dorado Gaming versus ETA, which you are watching tonight. We also have DRG versus Crimson Spartans, Kekpagaru, and No Quarter Gaming, University of Hawaii, and Mind Goblins.
Mind Goblins. I'm like,
Yeah,
PF
Mind
Mind
Goblins.
Goblins.
I lost what the PF stood for. I was like, okay.
I'm
So we
pretty sure
got
it's
Mind
just
Goblins.
PF Mind Goblins.
I think
Yeah.
it's I think you're
think
right.
so.
It is.
Either way, though, this is going to be a pretty exciting playoffs. I think all of these teams undoubtedly deserving of where they landed in the standings as they worked hard. Dorado being the obvious favorite on Group A, and then KEKW Pagari being the favorite on Group B. Both of those teams coming in undefeated after their monstrous performances. But we're going to obviously focus right now on this particular match in general, which we have Ethereal on the other side. Now, I don't think we casted a game with Ethereal. We were going to, but then a
I don't think
match
so,
got
no.
rescheduled.
Yeah.
I think that's what ended up happening. So we haven't seen them in play, but based off what we're seeing on their stats, is they know how to scrap, and it's just going to be a very hard matchup for them tonight. Unfortunately, I only say unfortunately because it is Dorado. Regardless of whatever iteration of Dorado it is, they always play pretty well. And speaking of which, of us, being like this is going to be hard for them, let's just kick it over to predictions real quick because we definitely are all in favor of Dorado
Pretty
tonight.
one-sided this week.
Yeah.
3-0s across the board, except for myself. I'm expecting a Dorado Classic of where they just draft for solo queue and, and they lose.
The classic draft for content in game 3.
I wouldn't say draft for content per se, but they definitely
Okay.
draft solo queue type champions, not
Yeah.
competitive. And sometimes they get steamrolled, sometimes they don't. It's just it's just a matter of how well they're piloting their champs that day, I guess.
Yeah, and we saw it last. We saw it last split, where I think it was game 2 or game 3 of whichever series it was. They just drafted for the memes and ended up getting mollywopped that game. And then game 4, they're like, "All right, let's actually play for real." So
I believe in them to not do that today. I believe in them to just be like ready to be done. I'm sure they do not want to extend this longer than they have to. I believe in
You
the
think
3-0.
so? Yeah. I mean, me too.
I think
I always
so.
predict the 3-0s, 2-0s, all that because I don't want to go with the baby safe prediction. Oh, 3-1 because they're close and one team's gonna win. No, it's a 3-0 every time.
I think sometimes there's some room for a 3-1 or a 3-2, but I think this is going to be a 3-0.
Definitely, I 100% agree with you. Just to update everyone, we are waiting on Ethereal support. They're having PC issues, so that's the delay. Which now I'm going to actually kick it back. Speaking of PCs, to Worlds last night. So NRG 2-0'd
from a PC. Kick it back to what? What do you mean?
I just wanted a segue. All I wanted was a segue. That's all I wanted. So we got to see NRG beat G2 last night. So we can just go ahead and continue to say what the heck is a kilometer? Because
what the heck is a kilometer?
That there is no way NRG beat G2. NRG destroyed.
Yeah, they demolished them. Yeah, it wasn't
They-
even close.
It was a stomp fest from start to finish. I said it last season when with Palafox and contracts on different teams, like these guys are underrated. And I guess you got to go to academy to prove yourself. And here we are on the world stage.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought NRG wouldn't even like make it into playoffs and let alone win LCS and then now be in the quarterfinals. So I mean, I didn't think they'd get this far.
I didn't either. I had Cloud9 as my team getting out in my pick'ems because historically that's what they do. But then when they slumped it against Fnatic, I'm like, well, NRG being the last hope, so statistically they should get out because there's always one last hope that gets out. Which also now brings me to tomorrow's games, which now has the most hilarious potential outcome that's going to happen.
I haven't even seen who's playing right now.
Oh, so I'll actually bring that up.
It's KT DK, it's BLG versus G2, and it's Fnatic versus Weibo. Off the top of my head, I think that's right.
That is exactly correct. So there is a hilarious chance that no EU team makes it out. There is a potential for that. Now Weibo might throw. It all depends, and Hyper and I were talking about this earlier. It all depends on if the Shy is locked in. If the Shy does the Shy things, I think they lose. So.
Well, he hasn't. He's only done it one game so far at Worlds. He hasn't really been the Shy because he's actually been playing like pretty smart, and not just. He has been. He's been the Shy. He's just not been like LPL regular season the Shy, where he's just fighting people with no wards on the map underneath their tier 2 tower when the tier 1 tower is still up. Like he's not just killing himself on the map for like 10 CS. He's actually like playing smart.
He's doing the Shy things with better brain cells, or
he's doing the Shy things without the int. He's only had one bad game so far.
And that was against G2, actually, funny enough.
Yeah, and that game, by the way, I will go out and say he wasn't even playing that bad. Like when they were up against G2, I was like, wow, dude, I understand why the Shy is goated, because even losing, I was getting nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watching Kadriel also during that entirety of the series was so funny. Honestly, Twitch chat, I have to say, if you don't watch any of the co-streams, watch Kadriel's. Kadriel's is the funniest one.
He was so sad during G2 Energy. It's good.
It was so funny.
Sad? I don't think that I would call that sad.
Right. So just a little update as I'm looking here. It looks like they're still having issues.
So this feels like so there's been a few incidents similar to this in previous playoff series with friends of mine. Their support is playing from a PC cafe, and there's been multiple instances of people trying to play from internet cafes and having ping issues, connectivity issues, not being able to log on just because like peak hours and all, like it's just not good for connectivity. And I'm curious as to if they're going to try and find a different substitute to play or another player to play rather than, because if they do not show a full roster 15 minutes after a game start, they do forfeit the first game of the series.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just means we're in for a short night, fellas, if that's the case.
Yeah.
But it happens.
I like what our producer just said. Spooky season debuff.
It is, yeah. Spooky season debuff, yes, sir.
It is Halloween weekend, so there's that going on. Usually what's interesting, too, is normally around this time, too, would be near the end of Worlds. We still have, like, 3 more weeks. That's kind of weird to me.
I mean, I guess it happens. But, last week, we were on patch 1320.
Oh, yes.
Jinx broken patch.
Jinx
and now
nerfs,
we're on patch 1321, the tone down Jinx patch.
Yeah, she's still super OP.
Oh, no, she's definitely OP. She's just not broken like she was previously. If you guys don't keep up with the patch notes, my brethren here will 100% break it down. But I just want to talk about the Jinx, because they didn't, the air quote nerf that she received wasn't really a nerf. They just gave her a cap. They're like, all right, you can only be broken to a point. So Jinx is getting excited with stacking, and then now they just cap it at 5. Taking down turrets only gives you a stack instead of infinite stacks. And jungle monsters are I'll take down epic monster kills and structures. Okay, yeah. So and same with the epic monsters, it's just a stack instead of like infinite stacking. So you can't just like take Baron and then turret in game. Like it won't let you do that. Which is kind of nice, because I don't know, Darter, if you got to pull it off. I got to pull it off where the infinite attack speed Jinx just goes insane.
I think the highest attack speed I hit on Jinx last patch was 15.
I think I hit 10.
Yeah,
That's-
because it was uncapped.
Yep.
it kind of brings back memories of season 7 Lulu Cog when Cog W used to do that too.
Yeah.
It's just like they know that like stuff like that's gonna be like really broke, and they still like ship it into patches. It's
I'm
like
surprised they didn't give her like a hot fix like day
Mhm.
after. Because
yeah.
I think it was like day 2 or 3, the patch being live. I pulled out the
Yeah.
like the 10 attack speed because I like got 2 or 3 kills under turret, take in hit, take Nexus
Yep.
turrets, and then in
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got 15 because I took bot tier 2, bot tier 3, got a triple kill, and then took a bunch of other towers.
Yeah.
And just ended the game with like 15, 16 attack speed. It's like it's just not balanced. Now it's capped. She's still like super strong.
It's still super
She is
strong.
in the same state now that she was MSI last year. That's how strong
Yes.
Jinx is right now, if you're wanted a comparison. They've
That-
nerfed lethality Caitlyn by
Thank
a
God.
considerable amount.
Thank God.
Caitlyn herself is still strong, but lethality Caitlyn is nerfed. What are the other big nerfs on this patch? Briar nerfs are pretty
Fire
big.
nerfs, yeah.
I don't know
Cassante
why
got
they
a little
decided to buff. Yeah,
rework,
I don't
right?
know why they decided to buff Cassante. That champion's disgustingly OP right now.
Yeah, okay. Cassante got buffed.
He's been consistently 46 to 48-ish% win rate. He's at 51.5 right now.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They also buffed block too, so her W and E damage
Morgana
is increased.
buffs are whatever. I still
Yeah,
think that champ is useless in support. I do
whatever.
think Morgana jungle and mid are very real. I also think Morgana AD carry with Senna is very real. But I don't think Morgana support is real still.
I don't like support Morgana.
I just think that champ is just so useless.
I'm
If
glad
it's-
Aurelion Sol got buffed with 1320. He got inadvertently broken because of the
yeah, he got
just
nerfed, but he's still
the
so
anti
broken.
snowball patch, and so he just
Yeah,
was super broken in the mid lane. So I'm really glad they decided to nerf his Q damage.
yeah.
And then what did they do to Brand? They looked like they gave him a complete rework.
Brand, they gave him like an adjustment on his abilities, so
yeah.
jungle Brand is better now.
So the other day when I saw a jungle Brand, it wasn't
Troll.
No, it's not. No, it's
Okay.
not. They buffed Jungle Brand specifically. His passive does instead of 120% damage to monsters, it's 220% damage to monsters, capped at 80 per tick, which is the same as it was before. And then the E got nerfed base damage wise. Scaling is the same. And then his base stats got nerfed, except his like base stat scaling got better. It's like a bit of both. So his base attack speed got buffed, his attack speed growth got buffed, base armor got buffed, armor growth got nerfed, base HP got nerfed, and HP growth got buffed. So they just made it. They made Brand jungle better, which I don't understand why they wouldn't target Brand mid, because whatever. But Brand jungle is real now. It was sort of real before, but now it's definitely real. And then they just nerfed a lot of Briar's base stats. But they buffed her passive healing, so they like didn't really nerf her. And then they buffed her W scaling. The W base damage is the same, but they nerfed her it was plus 4% per 100 bonus AD. Now it's plus 3.5% per 100% bonus AD of missing health.
What's funny about the
but
whole
base damage is
Brand
the same.
jungle thing is I had a friend who started doing that like mid last year, and we played it pretty solidly like together on the norms for like a month, and then he just stopped doing it. So now it's really funny that it's back. So there's that whole thing going on. And anyone who's just joining us, we are experiencing a delay with a PC.
Yeah.
I believe there is a cutoff time for this.
There is,
There is a cutoff time.
So I had to step in with the rules lawyering a bit because they're like, yeah, we're ready for draft, and I was like, you guys can't start draft unless both teams are fielding a full roster in the lobby, for obvious reasons. Because you need to be able to see who you're playing against to be able to properly draft and have a draft prep for. Looks like they potentially have a substitute, which would be nice. And then the forfeit rules, I will have to double check on those specifically. I'm pretty sure it's just one game for the first 15 minutes if like part of the roster is missing.
I think I think you're right. But with that being said, we're gonna send it to a little intermission while we get everything
Yes,
sorted
it's
out.
just one game. Yeah.
All right, bet.
If
So
there's
yes,
nobody, it's the whole series. If it's only partial part of the roster, it's only one game. Dorado are being very fairly lenient with the ruling, which is very nice of them to try and get a full series played. So hopefully we don't have any forfeits altering the outcome of this. But as it stands, in 2 minutes time, I believe is the
2 or 3 minutes.
yeah, because they
minutes
initially
cut
said
off.
we'll give you an extra 5 because it would have been 5 minutes ago that they would have taken the FF loss. They then stated that they're looking for a substitute, so they're being given another 2 minutes to have their substitute actually come into the lobby and get ready for draft. So, and if they don't join in that time, then I would assume that Dorado are going to enforce after giving like almost like 50% additional
Yeah.
time, the single game forfeit. So, and then after that, there's another time limit as well, and then other things happen.
So-
But as
so
of right
on and
now,
so
there's just
forth.
PC issues and substitute issues.
Well, with that being said, we're going to send it to intermission real fast so that we can get everything sorted out on our end and you don't have to hear us blabbering and talking about it. So we will see you guys back in a quick little minute, hopefully with a game on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good evening, everybody. So we're back. Ethereal has found an E-sub. They're not going to lose any bans, but they will forfeit the first game of the series. So Dorado is up 1-0 right now. We're going right into draft, and we are back in business. We'll talk about who they brought in probably later in game, but right now we're just going to immediately get started. So sorry for the delay. We are back. Darter, are you ready for this potentially long game or whatever might end up happening in this?
I am. I mean, all of the snowballing mechanics got nerfed a few patches last patch, so I would expect a long game regardless. Casted and ban is something I probably should have mentioned going in or before we went to break, because that champion has a 53% win rate in ranked right now. It is so unbelievably busted. So if anyone plays it, it's permaban for sure.
Yeah, I'm also surprised that Dorado went for the Jarvan ban, because normally we kind of see that first pick blue side. At least we have a lot in a lot of the series we've played. So they're going to go ahead and go with the Ziggs. Their mid laner is very good at Ziggs, or it could be a flex pick. Let's keep that in mind. So, but it's just the Ziggs first pick is something we don't really see that really that often, but we're really looking forward to see where this draft from Dorado and Ethereal can go. So here we are with the flex pick coming in hot, so it's really nice. So Ethereal have a chance to kind of just pick two really strong picks that kind of go into the Ziggs.
They kind of have to go Vayne or Seraphine here. That's neither. The Ashe isn't really a Ziggs answer, considering it's a 55% win rate matchup for Ziggs.
Sejuani, interesting.
But they're going Ashe Sejuani, which pretty much telegraphs a Braum pick on R3 for them. I'd be surprised if they go anything else. With Ziggs, you normally pair Leona with it. The only issue is if you pick Leona, you're getting yourself counterpicking essentially because of the Braum answer that you're expecting. Can't pick Nautilus either, so you're kind of looking for like maybe a Ziggs Alistar lane, Ziggs Rakan lane, which is a little bit weird. And yeah, banning Jarvan and then first picking Ziggs is really interesting, because normally you see those two champions paired together. So we'll see what they'll go for. They go with Zac instead, which is a similar tempo style jungler, just really heavily ganking focused, kind of like Xin Zhao, but provides a lot more frontline than either of those two champions, Jarvan or Xin Zhao. And still has that layered CC potential for Ziggs to throw the bomb on top of. And I'm curious to see if they decide to pick their support here, which I would imagine, but I don't really know what they have. They are going to pick Nautilus. That's a really easy Braum pick here for ETA. It's one of the best supports with Ashe next to Renata. Those are probably the two best at the moment. Also, Melio is very good with Ashe, but in this particular instance, it's very strong Poppy.
Okay.
I don't. It's good into Zac, but I'm curious. That kind of has to go top lane, because Ashe Poppy is really not real, especially into Nautilus Ziggs. Like, yes, it's a Nautilus counter, but Ziggs really doesn't care, and Nautilus isn't looking to go in, just kind of be that peel for Ziggs and provide that team fight CC and engage that this champion needs. So I hope it's not Poppy support, because I feel like that can get abused, as even though it is very strong in the 3v3 against Zac Nautilus, I don't think they're going to be looking for any fights, and you can't really punish Ziggs Nautilus with that kind of pick.
And I'm wondering
however,
if this
it's
can
not necessarily bad.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this is going to open the door for Dorado to start banning away some of those really strong support picks that you mentioned. We could ban the Braum here or the Melio here, and then kind of just like pinch the support pool for. Yep, there it is right there, just as predicted. And then I think Ethereal are going to probably looking to pinch the top lane pool here more instead, because as we know, Masuf is pretty cracked on whatever top lane champion he gets.
Camille, Aatrox.
Yeah,
Camille is fine to leave open because you have Pop. Yeah, the Aatrox.
Poppy,
I wouldn't be surprised if they banned either. I think Renata, probably Melio, honestly, or you just get the Syndra gone. I mean, Orianna is still open. Iota's kind of hinting that they want to pick Orianna. I mean, it's kind of weird because Orianna is a Syndra counter. It's a skill matchup if the Syndra player is very good at Syndra, but it's an Orianna favored matchup. For ETA, I wouldn't be surprised if they go with like Talia here.
I would love
flex
that.
around
Or Silas. I get it. There was a Nautilus and Ziggs, so that actually makes sense. To pick up the Nautilus.
Blind Silas is super rough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really strong. Now, Silas is one of the best mid laners on the patch. But there is a very strong like Nico angle here for Iota if they want it.
Okay. I like that.
Or Talia. I think Nico or Talia, Kassadin's banned. That would be my other answer for it. But I think Nico, Talia, Jace. They do need some AD, but I was expecting AD carry top, so I do think the Jace is probably mid. however.
Yeah, I would think so. We normally really see Jace more in the mid lane nowadays than in the top lane, which makes sense. Now this does give Masu kind of a choice to whether he wants to play the Jace if he wants to, or pick something for himself. Like you mentioned, Camille is open, but with Poppy that would make that matchup a little hard. So whether or not he sticks to that carry jungler style or carry top laner style that we see, it just kind of be determined. And Fiora being the potential okay, so I love Fiora because she's just so good in the tanks with her passive, but I'm kind of reserved a little bit at the same time because I feel like this is not the right Fiora game, if that makes sense. I think I think there's better choices.
It's not the right one, but it's not the wrong one
Not the wrong one either, yeah.
I do think it's actually really strong,
Alistar.
especially with Alistar lock-in, because now they have no damage.
You should just lock in Bernardo and Emilio here. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is Poppy can't match Fiora in side lane after 2 items. So Silas is going to have to be matching Fiora, and that's half your damage gone from these team fights. And Iota have such a strong poke composition with Ziggs Jace and Nautilus Zac to just dive in and get that CC onto one target and to just blow up. It's going to be really hard for this Ashe to play. Now, she does have a lot of peel with Sejuani Alistar that are and Poppy, which are 3 very good champions into Zac Nautilus. So in these team fights, if they end up going for a 5v5, ETA does have a very easy to execute comp in that regard. They just don't have a lot of damage, really, to actually fight back.
I think that's something that's going to bite them in the butt. But in the meantime, while we're getting ready for Champ Select Draft, let's go ahead and bring Hyper in and get his thoughts on what we saw, coming into this draft.
Well, I mean, I like the Ziggs Nautilus bot lane. Not gonna lie, Darter, because that bot lane itself, just in the 2v2 itself, actually, unironically, is really strong. Ziggs in these patches, especially since he got his buff too, he likes to play with these aggressive supports.
He always has.
He just loves to play off of them. I'm not a big fan of the Zac, and I'm not a big fan of the Jace and the Fiora because you're kind of leaving Ziggs unprotected as everybody goes forward. Jace doesn't really provide that much peel, and I feel like you would want Nautilus in the brunt of the fight with the Zac and the Fiora, considering how tanky ETA's front line is. Like, they have developed and built a wall of just get through me if you can.
Yeah. My only question is who's killing Zac?
Yeah, that's where it comes down to. Who's going to be able to kill Zac? Who's going to kill
this Zac Nautilus?
Nobody.
This Silas has to get 30 kills to actually be able to kill these 2 champions. Now, because their team has the Alistar, they're not playing Silas into Alistar, so he's not just this unkillable monster of a champion. However, the best ultimate for him really is Ziggs ult or Zac ult. And neither of those make him tanky enough. And if he depending on the build Silas goes, he can just get one shot by Jace Ziggs poke. As much as they do have frontline.
Can he take Fiora ult?
Yeah, you can take Grand Challenge, but he can't really do too much with it.
Yeah, it's just so hard to
I guess let me rephrase my question. Can he take Grand Challenge and use it the way it's supposed to be used?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
It's just hard for him to proc all the vitals because he doesn't have infinite dashes like Fiora does.
Touche.
Right. And I'm just gonna give a little bit of a just a small update. So the first game code timed out for anyone that's wondering.
Yes.
We have that whole thing.
Timed out, yep.
So we're just getting back into the lobby for this using the second one, and then we'll be getting into game.
Oh, they're using game 2? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna use game 2s. I tried to invite you, but it's not letting me. So
of course not, because Riot.
As long as we have one of our 4 people here, I think we'll be good. Let me rephrase. Yeah. If we at least have Marco in the lobby,
if our producer's in there, it doesn't
matter.
Yeah. As long as they're there, we're good. Yeah.
So, yep. All right. So we're just going to wait on that. But just kind of continuing talking about the draft right now, especially because I'm looking forward to this Fiora matchup personally. I used to play a lot of Fiora like a year ago-ish. And just when you against like situations like a Poppy where she can't really match you in the 1v1, once you kind of start hitting those item breakpoints, it becomes super, super hard. You can kind of just ignore her while pushing towers because if she tries to shove you out, just parry. goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's really all you need. And she wastes her ability. None of her CC is available at that point, and you're just kind of like screwed because once the tower's dead, then she's kind of hitting you with all her vitals and assuming she has. She's
I don't
melted
know if
3, she's
I don't know
dead.
if you know this interaction, but you
Yep.
can QW on Fiora, tank the knockup, and then stun Poppy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of
I
cool.
really do like the Fiora pick.
It's hard to pull off, but you can like
Yeah.
buffer your Q parry and then just tank the knockup on the Poppy W and get the parry backwards and stun them. And then you can just dash at them. But yeah, in early lane phase, Poppy should win this matchup and should just dominate like levels 1 through 6. Just because Poppy base damage and Fiora can't really trade against Poppy early on. But once it's like one item, especially 2 items and beyond, Poppy, like I said and like you just mentioned, cannot match Fiora inside at all. And I really like the Fiora pick. It kind of does something similar to like Olaf would in this situation. I do think Olaf's a little bit better just because of how much like Fiora does kind of get gimped by Alistar, Poppy, Sejuani, and Olaf doesn't really care. You just don't want to give Sylas Olaf ultimate, so that's why I think Fiora pick is better here. Because if you give that Sylas a Olaf ult, he's just gonna run at your backline, and then Zach Nollis can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the Fiora pick is better than something like Olaf there, even though Olaf is better into Poppy. And it sort of accomplishes the same thing because Iota want to play this 4-1 split pushing style. You want Fiora to be on an island on opposite objective with Hullbreaker, just pushing towers, and then you play this poke 4v4. And depending on who's matching Fiora, it's most likely has to be Sylas come in these later fights. They can't poke back. It's just going to be Alistar, Sejuani, Poppy kind of staring at Iota, trying to find an engage with a Glacial Prisoner and Alistar combo. And they just have to not get poked out by Jace Ziggs, which they do have the tankiness to do. It's just they don't really have the ability to stand there and match the poke that Iota has.
Now, just for the memes, do you have the dragon sheet up, one of you? I forgot who has it.
It's me.
Darter has the dragon sheet.
I'm pretty sure it's. I haven't updated it again. It's like still sitting from like week 5, but it's almost entirely Mountain and Cloud. It's like 80% Mountain and Cloud Drakes.
Yeah. So what are we thinking in terms of like Dragon Soul for this game in particular? Because obviously
I was right last week twice in a row with Hex
twice in a row because it was 2 Hextech games in a row, and I'm like, what the heck? You're like, it's always the same soul.
It's
and
always the same soul. It is. Whatever the
is
soul is game 1. Yeah, whatever the soul is in the first game, that's the soul for the rest of the series, or at least most of it. I predicted Hex. I'm gonna go with Infernal this time.
Okay.
Infernal.
Yeah. I think it'd be good for either team. Better for Dorado, but either team.
Yeah.
You go first, Freak.
I'm actually gonna go ahead and go with an Ocean, or it's either gonna be Ocean or Mound, but I'm gonna stick with Ocean. Wow, I don't know why I blinked out real bad. You know what?
If ETA get Ocean Soul, Iota's comp has a hard time doing anything. I will say.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And you know what? My brain turned off for a second. You know what could help with my brain not turning off? A nice glass of G Fuel. It's really great.
Sponsor us. God. It's back. It's back. I'm
We're
so
not
happy.
Finally slid it in there.
I'm so
We've
happy.
only waited 7 weeks for him to.
It's been a long time coming.
I mean, there's never been a good opportunity up till now, so I had to go for it.
Okay. So you said Ocean, right?
I said Ocean, yes.
So Infernal and Ocean. I'm gonna say Chemtech.
The worst one.
It's pretty bad.
It's the worst soul in the game.
Yeah, honestly. What
are its normal dragon stats?
Healing and shielding and tenacity, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
So, like, as a one shot, as like a one-off.
Individual dragons, if it's like the first or second Drake, it's not bad. But like the soul is just useless.
Soul
is pointless unless you're playing Sylas or Vayne. Then it's not pointless. But or Swain. Swain with Chemtech is disgusting.
Yeah, but I mean, for now, since we waited long enough, we're finally getting into this game. It will be game 2 technically. So when we come back, we'll be on the riff for game 2 between Dorado and Ethereal. So don't go anywhere. Sorry for the delay, but we'll be back shortly.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome to game 1. As you can clearly tell, my dragon is the first one on the map. If we go to the dragon pit real quick. Yeah. Laugh it up, guys. Laugh it
How
up.
does it feel to be wrong again?
It's like the story of my entire split. I've been wrong.
Yeah,
like,
you've been wrong so many times this time, actually.
after
like,
being right like a lot.
Usually you predict the second dragon every game, but it's been like wrong the whole time.
God, I think Riot Games just hates me.
With that being said, last week was a bit of a fluke because nobody was wrong up until Soul came through, and then
this is true.
And then just Dorado was right,
and then I was right both games.
See, that I'm okay with.
It's the same Soul every game. I'm gonna stick to my guns until I'm proven wrong because I haven't been.
But as we are currently on the Rift, looks like we're getting some backs coming through. Something weird happened.
Shield.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but something weird happened on Discord where it looked like the game slowed down for a hot second.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. That was kind of weird.
All right.
Oh, I'm ahead. Whoopsies.
No. Well, that's an easy fix. We just stop looking at ours and look at yours.
Anyways, Fiora is going D-Shield, which I think is a little bit interesting. Normally you see in like Fiora versus tank matchups, it's like a D-Blade start. Some of them go Corrupting Pod, things like that. But they do have Grasp, which I actually like because you're just going to be farming it off of Poppy for the most part. And Poppy did start Q, which is needed. But these junglers are mirrored their starts, so Zac pathing top and Sejuani pathing bot. I don't know how much this Zac's gonna be able to do pathing top. Because Poppy's kind of like ungankable by Zac. Just press W and run away. But we'll see if they can bait the W beforehand.
I'm not sure. So here we go, the Fiora classic of when I'm gonna educate you guys real quick for those of you who don't play Fiora. If the Vital is in front of you, go for it every single time. That's actually like the Fiora tech. You just if it's in front or at the bottom, you just go for it every time. That is how you play the champion. Now, most players sometimes who play against the champion will refresh the Vitals by hold on a second, no kidding.
What a dredge line coming out from falling for you. That was clean.
Wait, I think my damage tooltips are bugged.
That's like, did you see that too?
Yeah, he did like 10k damage on the tooltip. I was like, that can't be right.
Yeah, no, it's been doing that. Hey, Riot, fix your client.
Riot Games.
Riot Games.
But it's not it's a perfectly stable, functioning module client.
Yeah, Fiora doing what Fiora does.
That's just, Fiora things. Love me some Fiora things, that's for sure. But now we're kind of looking at the mid lane for a little bit of a hot second. Just so your classic trading, so it ended up being a Jace mid, as we had mentioned. It is a flex pick. So not that I needed to point that out. It was pretty obvious when Fiora was locked in, but kind of in tandem with what we were saying, like Jace is a flex pick. But Sejuani's going for a wraparound. Hold on a second.
Oh. In mid, but Tough Daddy with a really nice knockback, but having to flash right there. A flashless base. That's a repeat visit to the mid lane here pretty soon.
That is going to be really annoying to keep seeing the 10k damage.
I mean, I thought you had ADHD, my man. Can't you just like selective seeing or something like that?
Yeah, selective brain. Yeah.
No. Now that I know it's there, it's going to bother me, so I'm going to see it more.
Yep.
Well, I was spectating games yesterday, and that's when it popped up, and I already like hard programmed my brain to just like start ignoring it.
Just ignore it. It just looks like Ziggs has Collector, and I can't find that not funny.
Collector on minions. That's how that works. So right now, Dorado have a like 400 goldie that's coming out of the backs of like mostly CS leads in the mid lane. Not so much in the mid lane, it's just a wave, which is no big deal. But the jungle has a pretty not significant, but a pretty decent lead in top lane, being what top lane is doing. And boom, there it is right there. Go for the Vital, you proc it. Which luckily the shield was up, so it didn't take any damage from that. And now with it at the back, actually this is Massoud we're talking about. That's what I thought.
We have to remember who this top laner is. Most of your players reset that Vital.
Here comes Zac.
Yeah, looks like Darkin's gonna get jumped on, but the directed camera gonna go to the bot lane. Darkin Warrior's probably gonna get out of this one. Can we? Yeah, he survives that one. What's it looking like down there in the bot lane, Marco?
Let's find out. Okay.
So both games on both sides of the map didn't really.
I have two monitors. One of them is my me control.
Whoa! Oh, what a stop by the Poppy right there. K-Pep tried to knock him up, but he went to go for a root, but getting tower aggro right there. Taking a lot of tower shots.
He didn't go for the double Q onto Poppy. It's a bit hard to wait. Why did... gonna say Fjord could go for that, but
It's risky.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I would have ego gone for that. No lie. Wait, she just wasted W.
Wait, this is free then, unless he dies the first
I
blood.
Darkened Warrior with the first blood.
He didn't parry the Q.
Iota. Oh wow.
Interesting.
He's got a Q through parry, and then.
And you know what?
Really well played by Dark and Warrior, though.
Yeah, very, very well played by Dark and Warrior to kind of go for that. Recognize the low health bar. I mean, it's just a mistake for Massif there. Definitely a massive oof, but it gets the trade kill in the
We were talking about a keeper's verdict.
Or not.
He wasted parry again. Dark and Warrior lives to see another day.
He wasted parry. It's a really hard timing, to be fair. It's a game of chicken, really. He can cancel it. He's not going to, though.
It's
there's
no
point. There's no reason to cancel that base either because of the wave state. Poppy has to TP back, and she will, so you don't really get anything from canceling the base at all. In fact, it's better if you don't, because you can't dive her, really.
I will also say that the reason why Massif didn't go for it because the Vital was not in an optimal spot.
Yeah,
if it was, I'm 80% sure he goes for it. Ooh, W's down. Could continue fighting.
Dark is taking these trades now every time that Massive.
If he was 6, he goes for that for sure.
Okay, very interesting.
I love how the
now he might go
just
for it.
keeping us in this top lane.
Well, that's where all the action is. You're a 6, so I think he goes for this.
What a great stone, but the grand challenge is going to come out from Massive. He's going to get one Vital, going to get a second, but Poppy keeping him pinned down there, but manages to get one of the grand challenge is going to time out in that shield proc. Not really super good for Fiora right there, and I would say Poppy wins out on that trade, but why no pain, my friend, getting knocked into the tower. Love it.
So Zach's coming here for this upside, so I think Poppy dies here with no flash, especially. The W should be up right now. Here we go.
Too early.
I mean,
he flashes.
Be able to get the extra bit of root, but Poppy's going to take him right back into the tower. He's going to take a little bit too many tower shots, but his passive is going to get proc. And Massive is doing a really good job of poking his health bar down, while on the other side of the map, ETA claims first Drake.
Maybe this is the content game.
I don't know about Flash. I mean, I don't want to nitpick mechanics, but the dredge line hits on this H1. Nothing should really come of it. Just two tanks slapping each other. As Jace doesn't really have the items to do too much. Shock Blast does still a fair amount on the Silas.
Oh yeah. Very interesting call there from K-Peps to kind of keep following that up. The flash was unfortunate, I will say. I just think the slingshot was not the slingshot, but I can't remember what the ability is called, but it was getting ready to time out right when he flashed. It was just unlucky timing there. Oh, that was a nice little thread on the needle.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went for that. I'm also shocked in the earlier play when Massive used the Grand Challenge on a Dark and Warrior, didn't flash to the top Vital and then Q parry the last one. Considering Poppy didn't have any flash.
He's gonna get a really nice dredge line, and he is followed up by that satchel, forcing Warlord to flash forward. But falling for you, he's gonna flash in response. Ignite is ticking away, but less forces now rooted. He's just running away as a cow should be doing.
It's not 6.
Really great engage coming out from the side of Iota's bot lane.
He gets 6 on this minion.
Oh no, it's not gonna be in time though. She's already gone.
Oh no!
It's like 5 XP.
Unlucky, dude.
Oh wow.
He was like a ward worth of XP off level 6.
Sejuani is currently looking mid for something. Jace has flash again, so I don't think anything will come of that. Looks like actually nothing though, because Barrett the Cam decided to take us away. Now we have the next Drake coming up in 3 minutes, which is a Chemtech.
Damn it!
What did I say?
You said Hextech, I said Chemtech, but while I say that, K-Peps is going to dive on in, forcing Alex to start a flash.
Oh, they live.
Really clean headbutt, but he's going to come right back into the waiting arms of the Zac. Really good damage coming back from Warlord. They gave it a good shot. They got a good amount of damage, but unfortunately not able to secure those kills.
Not really, like, look, so my brain is kind of wrapping around my head as to how they're currently playing. This is kind of different than how they played last week. I'm seeing more mistakes out of Dorado versus
they're all over the place.
Yeah, especially when we saw them play Crimson Spartans last week.
Yeah.
So, I wonder, maybe,
top dive here.
Oh, you think? Oh, no,
There's
you're right.
There's gonna be a top dive and a bot dive at the same time.
She has the Glacial Prism ready to go. Massive, you're gonna get stunned into the
wall. Oh my god, they did some good
flash forward, and that is all she wrote. Bot lane going at it themselves. Apex is going to dive under tower.
He's dead.
Pull back. Warlord gets a kill on a Caveman.
No.
Because
So
going to find the
messy.
double kill, and it looks like the supports now are the only ones alive. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, we saw briefly, but Tough manages to take out the Silence.
Oh man, they're
Yeah,
just getting
super messy. We didn't see the mid lane 1v1, but Silas just gets absolutely solo killed. Like, and it wasn't even close. Tough Daddy was like 80% HP at the end of that. Because that gets a solo kill, but then Massive gets dove by Mist, and Dark and Warrior doesn't get the parry timing off on the E from Dark and Warrior, so I think it just gets chain CC'd by the Glacial Prison, and how long those stuns last, you're not getting out of that if you don't parry the first one. Still does have flash though, but dies, and then the bot dive is super messy, so Warlord gets 2 kills. This Ashe now decently accelerated as well, so Gold is now 1k in favor just off the virtue of how messy that bot dive was and how good the top dive was, and now actually it's Poppy's 1100 gold up. So the entire gold lead is top.
Okay, so yeah, this game is definitely taking a turn from differently than what we thought it was. I mean, Hyper was the one that did make the 3-1 if that does end up going that direction. So there is a very good chance that, like, even though we said that is kind of a low damage comp coming in, actually there's a top gank happening.
I mean,
He has flash, it should be
looks
fine.
like they're going to be jumping right onto Massive.
Might not need it.
Crane
Oh, never mind.
Poppy stunned into the wall, hand the kill over to Silent.
We're saving flash for next game. All right, good to know.
God.
You got TP for when we respawn.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, there's 2 plates in the top lane. I think Sejuani should have beelined at top and opened up that tower. Make the lane longer for Fiora because you don't want her up that far.
I do like that she's holding away for Silas to come back.
Heralding mid.
I don't like that Herald in the mid lane personally, but I mean, it does kind of alleviate some of the pressure on the Silence to like crack that mid lane.
I get I mean,
I don't get it. Wasted Herald.
I 100% agree. I mean, top
Yeah.
towers 2 plates, but I mean, okay, you know what? Maybe they just want to get some gold back in the form of Silas,
it's.
but
I mean, but I'm pretty sure she's one got solo plates off that.
she
Herald.
got all the plate gold for that.
Yeah.
A W from Darkin right there to stop the Fiora.
Massive wins after. He doesn't win right now because he doesn't have Sunder, and also Poppy has a chain vest, so she takes no damage.
No.
Chain vest and a cloth armor, just not taking anything.
All right, so on the flip side, we do have 2 plates down in the bot lane as well, so they just need to keep chipping away at that tower, and Ziggs will be able to W it away, which, you know, that's just Ziggs things.
Zig work after you've gotten like a plate and some when it's like little less than 1 plate left.
So it looks like they're gonna sack top lane basically and kind of just go for the Drake here. I kind of thought they would like try to help Massive in this instance. Good parry on the Q. Actually, I think he dies if he pops the ult right now. He's not gonna go for it.
No, he won't.
Well, they're not, but you know, meanwhile, ETA is just taking the Drake down there in the bot lane. So
I do think Poppy
Dorado
takes
taking
that.
it.
they claim that Drake. I mean, Silas made it a little roam down there.
It's a
They're
cloud.
gonna dive top again.
She's low enough.
Yeah, I mean,
They have to bait the parry
to
first.
The wall. Mass is gonna get stunned to the wall. Here
Never
comes
mind.
Bonnie dashes forward. SNS Miss picks the kill up, and Dark and Warrior lives to tell about it.
Yeah, they don't have to bait the parry because they know he won't react to it because he didn't the first time. So you just keep pounding this top lane until you skill check the Fiora enough to make her react to your plays. And you just need to put her behind. And a fed Poppy is actually virtually unkillable, especially with Frozen Gauntlet against this composition. Has the Merc Treads as well for this Ziggs damage. I'm assuming those double cloth armors are going to go into a Bramble, and then will probably go into either a Force of Nature or something like that. You don't have to fully complete the Thornmail, or you can just go straight into like Sunfire. But yeah, this Poppy is going to be very hard to kill, especially since your Ziggs isn't accelerated to the stage speed where you want them to be able to actually do damage. And Jason's going the Duskblade build, which is, in my opinion,
really
better
nice
than the Yoma's build.
Sidestep by the Silas right there.
I do like the Duskblade build now that you're commenting on it. I was kind of looking at it, and I'm like, I feel like this is good into this instance, especially because mainly as hold on a second.
Massive is 2 levels behind. I don't think he should step up to take those vital procs anymore.
He just has to get the wave in at that point. I think that's what he's doing.
I think he's gonna stop the back. Oh, he doesn't know.
You don't.
He's got the blue trinket.
One shot the wave. One shot the wave. One shot the wave.
Yoink. All right. All right. So Fiora does finish the Sunder off that, so it is the matchup's a little better for her now. It's still gonna be egregiously hard.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like once the tank gets really super far ahead, it's just you do no damage to her.
Yeah, this is the issue with the Fiora matchup. It's Fiora wins later if the Fiora survives the early stage of these matchups, but if she doesn't, then the tank wins the whole time.
Yeah, that was actually a good W on that one, but I think you can kind of go for this now, right?
No.
2 levels up, actually, so never mind.
Yeah,
no, she can, dude. She really can. She can't step up. Ziggs is almost full damage. There it is. Core JJ claims first turret.
Go for this.
Good damage down, but here comes K-Peps with his speed. Warlord with Clean Flash. The Silence is here to help follow up. Ziggs ultimate's coming down from both sides of the team. Tough Daddy has made his way over to the fight. Has been turned. It is Tough Daddy's fight to win. Trying to chase down Warlord. Here comes K-Peps from the back end.
Goes for
Flash
this.
forward.
Yeah,
a jump through and a shutdown for the chase.
Of course he goes for that. He's got the damage.
I mean, that's fair.
He got that?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it is Jace.
Of course, it's an 80 carry. And
yeah,
they're always one-shottable.
With having negative armor,
Of course.
So, I mean, that also swings the gold into their favor after that, too, because first tower went over, those 3 kills also went over. Oh, no.
Nice Q.
I mean,
can parry the Glacial Prison if she throws it.
I don't think she has it yet.
She does have it up right now. She does have it.
Problem is, if you parry the Glacial Prison, you get Keeper's Verdict into Narnia and your tower dies.
Yeah.
Into Narnia.
If I was Poppy, I think you just toss the ult and try to get the tower.
Yeah, there she goes.
She didn't toss her that far, though.
No, it didn't wind it up enough, yeah. Just trying to get a reset, high TP.
Fiora kind of was like in her face. Why not?
I mean, that's also pretty fair, but the recall will be forwarded. I think we should get to it. There's another list. Interesting. So it looks like maybe full committing for the Thornmail after all. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I'm with you.
Start absolutely one-shotting this Poppy, but
I'm 100% with you, but I think she's kind of banking on staying in lane against the Fiora.
Yeah, I mean, Jace is the threat, right? So,
Mhm.
but I don't think Bramble doesn't do a whole lot against Jace.
No, not with
Thornmail.
Yeah, if he's not autoing her, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's gonna be mainly just.
I love how Mist is just sitting here waiting for the engage. She's just waiting for the right moment to pull the trigger. Like the patience when I see that from junglers is just so like good. I just love it. But man, Dark and Warrior are doing a really well in this 1v1. Incredible.
Can't get the vital proc off. Have to get your vitals off, otherwise you don't do any damage.
Yeah,
when the V is
it looks
up,
like
she
Dark
dies.
is gonna go ahead and solo kill
Parry.
Massive right here. That's all she wrote. The grand challenge.
Stay by
does
the
come
wall.
out, but it's not going to be enough to bring down the Poppy. Poppy claims that one is probably going to get that
for the
tier
fourth
1
vital. It's kind of
after
hard.
that.
Yeah, I think it's a little hard.
He did proc the top one. He got 3. He didn't get the bottom one. So he could have flashed for it and maybe gets the kill, but with Bramble healing reduction, he probably dies anyway, so just save the flash, try to get something. Does force Poppy a base, so the top tower doesn't go down, which means you can keep sieging this mid-tier 2. And even though this top lane matchup is so one-sided, the rest of the map is winning for Dorado, and they are actually up in gold because of this bot tower and how many plates they've gotten mid. And also just this lead in mid lane in general is so large.
Oh, yeah.
So they're winning overall, it's just top lane is a bit rough, which means her side lane win condition is very hard to pull off, and Poppy can now match Fiora the rest of this game, so you can have these Silas in these team fights, although he is right now pushing bot lane, which he should be. They do need this bot whip to be able to get prio for Drake, but they also need mid push, which is impossible to get against Chase Ziggs.
Yeah. But it looks like also in terms of like builds at the moment, Silas actually went for the Rod of Ages, the Everfrost that we normally see.
No damage.
So I think the reasoning for that is to be able to survive the one-shot ability from Jace, which I get that. At the same time, I mean, like Everfrost is just so good on him. Am I advocating for Everfrost on Silas? I mean, it makes sense actually. Never mind.
Everfrost is very good this game. You can also go Night Harvester just for the one-shot, but Fiora's gonna die again.
Oh, yeah, Darker Warrior gonna 1v1 the Fiora. Gets a really nice Q. That Vital sitting on the right-hand side, pinned against the wall. Massive really can't do much about it. Dashes forward, just trying to get back into his wave. But Darken Warrior, like a true warrior, pushes through the damage of the minions. Does not care. His jungler is
you don't have to keep going for this, homie.
Alistar is also making his way up. They do play the Drake or ETA, but it doesn't matter because your top laner has been obliterated once more. As at a final tick of the gun goes down, Les Force claims the kill, and it looks like we could just drop this.
I don't think that was worth it.
I don't think so either. You get Drake, which I mean, I guess isn't terrible because it's a Cloud Soul.
Tier 1, you get top tier 2 with Herald Crash.
I mean, okay, and yeah. Interesting.
I don't even know if they get this tower, to be honest.
They don't get it because Jason's here.
Nope,
Darken really nice by popping that W. Alistar hitting away. Hitting away the Jace. The keeper's burning right into the face of the Zac.
I think that was good. They might die.
Oh,
we've been minion gapped once again.
Just the classic minion gap. He stops the recall here, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does stop the recall.
Don't stay on that side of him.
But he's going to stun him into the wall.
No mana, they can't do
I gotta
this.
say, even though Alistar is here, Tough Daddy can probably win this fight because Poppy has no mana.
Please recall further. I don't like this recall
in the bush.
either.
Throw a shock blast in the bush. Come on, you know she's in there.
Oh, no, she's out. Interesting, okay.
I mean, they can't dive this Alistar.
Oh, double TP.
I know,
Fiora kills
Alistar. Massive right here, but Darken Warrior throws TP down. Those chains of corruption, not a
They win this. They win this.
But they
Wait,
still
never mind.
The sun comes through. A really nice stopwatch to keep him alive just for a little bit longer as he waits.
Yeah, they win this.
But it will not come. His support is not here, and it looks like Darken Warrior might just die at the end of this long chase.
Q parry.
I mean, he still lives. That's crazy.
I mean, it's not surprising.
This Poppy is so unkillable.
Yeah, but Silas dying there is kind of not a surprise. Just a lot of damage coming in from Jace and the Ziggs ult that ended up delaying the inevitable.
Look at the 6 damage. He has no MR.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Oh, Shadow Flame's done on him too, so yeah, he's gonna be hurting.
Shadow Flame tier 2s. Yeah. Now it's Fiora TP top. I actually really like that. They can finally crack that top lane tier 1.
No TP on Poppy to answer.
Yeah, Poppy doesn't have TP. Silas will have to TP to match, and he will, which means they can pressure mid because Poppy has phased. Alistar taking a bit of a chunk now as well. But Jason a little bit overextended. Should be fine though.
No, I think he's fine. He's 2 items. He hit his like really big item point. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, even though Silas is 2 levels ahead, she probably can win the 1v1.
He really
does have steel caps though.
Yeah.
He also really has no damage, to be fair. Sure, the Roa is nice, but kind of that lack of damage is what's going to keep him from being able to, like, absolutely 1v1 her.
Trying to figure out what Iota are looking for here on the map. It looks like they're just kind of dancing around in topside jungle, clearing this mid wave, but we're there. Wow. Ethereal are overloading topside, but Poppy's just split pushing bot. Jace has to answer.
I think he's the only one that can answer her.
They dropped full mid prio, so he's Poppy's completely by herself in this bot lane.
Interesting, but they do see the Nautilus here roaming you across.
So hard towards top. Baron is up, but they don't have the damage for it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, it's kind of like a not really hypothetical, but like to you both, like what, like Ethereal's in a very good spot. Actually, hold that thought. We might be dying here.
This is what they need to do. Yeah.
The knockup coming out.
Oh my god.
Getting dangerously low. Really nice flash over the top of the wall. Shut down. Going over to Sejuani. But now it is a tank battle here in the river. Here in the mid lane. A nice headbutt back to get the Zac away from you. A Dredgelight coming forward, hitting the most healthiest person. Another knockup coming from the tank. Another knockup coming from the Zac. The Warlord has rejoined the fight, and that is where it is going to fizzle out.
Okay. I think you were...
Jace gets
Jace kind of 1v1 starting
Yeah.
here. And
That's why he's matching her split. There was also a brief moment that... Wait a minute.
No, I mean, like, he 1v1s and, like, wins.
Yeah. But there was also a hot moment where it looked like Silas was pretty much, like, putting in Fiora.
Yeah.
I just watched her health bar just kind of drop during that last fight, and I think he was actually ended up winning that. Looks like also the ultimate was burned up there as well.
Yeah, both of them ulted. They were fighting pretty heavily in the 1v1 in topside. Nothing really happened though. They both just kind of hit each other and then left.
Yeah, I think if Ashe also doesn't get like chunked the way she did in that last fight, I think they actually completely turned that fight and maybe open that into something. Probably.
It's not a spear, right?
No, I mean Hydra is usually the second item that you build on Fiora.
Three long swords though.
Which one is kind of up to you. I prefer Ravenous
Should
because
be Rav, yeah, but she has 3 long swords.
That's why I'm kind of trying to like figure it out. But I was just getting ready to like tell you ask you guys like what.
Oh no, it still can't be Rav Hydra because of the Vamp Scepter.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, she has 3 long swords. What is that?
What are you guys looking at? I'm gonna look here in the mid lane real fast.
Fiora's items. Caulfield's is 2 long swords. That's why I said she has 3 long swords.
Okay. I was like, that's a Caulfield. That's not 2 long swords. Like, am I blind or are you
no,
blind?
she has like 3 long swords in her build.
Fiora does not have TP for this.
She doesn't need to. She just pushes up.
Honestly, I don't think they're gonna be able to get in here, but who knows? They might flip the fight because
they can't get to the front line. They have no damage.
Ball. Well, it looks like Dark and Warrior.
Arrow.
Guys,
your 80 carry.
And it looks like falling for you. Hits found the 80 carry, but really well done by the kiting from Warlord. They take out the 80 carry, and it looks like ETA is still pushing forward. They find the jungler. K-Pepsi Cast is going down, and Corey JJ is just throwing out bomb after bomb, poking down the Silas. He's taking all the damage. If he's not careful, will take the Q to the face and fall.
Iota almost won that 4v5, and I mean, we alluded to it in the earlier stage of this game, but Ethereal really don't have damage. It took them so long to kill Zac and Nautilus.
I don't see why not. 20 seconds on Zac, they might as well.
Yeah, they can. It should be free.
Fiora is just gonna TP bot lane, kind of.
Ziggs comes on it soon. They're all like pretty healthy. Oh, he's basically yeah.
Okay, so Baron gets an E3 that does end up going over to Ethereal. I was gonna ask, and they answered the question, is like, what does Ethereal have to do to kind of keep control of this game? They pull off a pretty good dragon fight, I will say. I will say pretty good because, like you mentioned, they have like negative damage right now. Ash needs 2 more items before
the
like.
Nature, okay.
Okay, yep, you were right, Force of Nature. But Ash needs like another item and a half before she goes to the Infinity Edge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I vibe with that.
It's good, as she needs to. She has to go IE this game. There's no other damages.
I'm kind of wondering how Dorado can come back in this game. Like, yeah, Jace is really strong. Ziggs is not accelerated as he should be. He has 2.5 items. He's doing a lot of damage. But the issue being is that now the tanks are getting tanky. I think he's gonna finish Zhonya's next.
Yeah, he has to go Zhonya's next just because he has to survive the one-shot. Which delays his damage spike. He can't really go. He can go Death Cap next, but he's just gonna get one shot repeatedly, so he kind of has to go. Zhonya.
Why not go like oh my God, Archangel.
What? Archangels? That's negative damage.
It's also way too late in the game to start it.
Yeah, negative damage build if he goes Archangels. It would be like Silas building. If Silas built Seraphs right now, I'd cry.
All right, good.
I think it would be actually kind of funny to see. Poppy's still pushing on the bot side, so it looks like we're going for a 1-3-1 style, which makes sense to me. They're gonna try to blow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Seraphs is not
classic.
Yeah, Ziggs is just gonna one-shot away. But yeah, Seraphs is not a damage item, it's a defensive item.
Wait, I thought that's what we were talking about was the items, but a really nice cue to get that Vital proc that was covering that wall, but we got to fight down there in the bot lane. A really nice pushback, tough daddy, but it looks like a keeper's embrace to get him off.
Yeah, they have such a hard time sieging.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Ziggs just makes it hard, and this is why I won't. Yeah, this is why I won't really penalize them if they end up like not getting too much weight in it.
It's so hard for the siege.
By the Silas is gonna pop that zone, and he's gonna pop his own grand challenge in bot. I don't think they're gonna be able to fight it out.
No, I don't think so. But I was just getting ready to say I won't be like too upset if nothing goes well this Baron because they just don't have enough like clear to like get through this.
Well, look, Corey JJ doesn't have any more mana though.
They need Poppy to come mid. Try and take this tower.
I
this. He's gonna pull the trigger on the K-Pen. But Ash is not really doing amount of damage that we needed to do right now. For some reason, he was just healing all of the damage she was throwing out.
They have negative damage.
Am I going crazy?
Oh my God! Wait!
Whoa! Darkin Warrior coming up big on that play.
Yeah, now what that does is it puts pressure. They have to give this mid tier 2. They have to match this Poppy in bot lane. That solo kill completely breaks this Baron play open. Silas can now get top tier 2. Poppy can reset CP back soon-ish. They're gonna try and
looks like
overload
Silas is gonna get
topside.
jumped on. Here comes K-Pep from over the top of the wall. The grand challenge is procced, and she is the champion.
That kind of saves the play for them, but Ziggs has to base. You mentioned he has no mana.
Yeah, he's sitting on like barely anything right now. Yeah, Baron has timed out. They actually got a pretty good chunk of gold off that, getting all the towers that they needed. Top tier 2, bot tier 2, and then tier 1 and mid lane, which opens up the map for them.
Wait, is Sus on Lich Bane?
Easy. Pause.
He doesn't have a Sheen, but he has an Aether Wisp.
I've never seen this.
What is that? Is that Lich Bane?
That's the only thing I know that builds into.
I think that's Lich Bane. Or
what else would it be? I don't play mages, so I don't really know, but
I don't ever build Lich Bane ever.
It's like an MR item. It looks like crown. Oh my god, it's like.
What, Banshees? No, that has. I was gonna say that has Crystalline Bracer in it. Or not Crystalline Bracer, sorry, that's the HP item.
I'm going right now to see what it builds into right now at the moment.
Yeah, what does Aether Wisp build into? The only thing I can think of is Lich Bane.
It might be Cosmic Overdrive.
Thank you!
Oh, it's Cosmic Drive, yes it is.
Oh my god, that was killing me. I was like, I see the image in my head, I just can't think of the damn name.
Cosmic Drive, okay. Yes, that makes sense, okay.
Okay, I was gonna say, Lich Bane would be kind of
that would be weird.
Thinking emoji, but
I mean, hey, it could work.
We have Fiora threatening the split, so someone has to answer her, but I'm assuming they're kind of gonna stack that tower.
Fiora is gonna take that tier 2 top tower, and ETA has done a really great job of keeping them out of the river. Massive is just gonna keep pushing on forward. She just deletes waves right now with the Ravenous Hydra, but they have to up the Drake. K-Pep's trying to get in, but Sejuani is going to be able to claim that one.
Wait, she's going to end the game.
Cristero is going to find the stun, and it looks like Fiora is just going up for
cancel back. Just cancel back.
The rest of ETA is trying to base, and looks like Iota is doing a really great job of stopping the back. Silas makes it back to his base, and now he's starting to engage onto the Fiora, and Fiora is just going to go ahead and back off.
Wait, now they get hits here too.
I get that it was their sole point, but like it's just a Cloud Drake, which is not really like the most impactful soul in the game.
See, you're part of the people that I don't.
It's
not just a Cloud Drake.
Wait, it is just a Cloud Drake. You lost 2 towers and an inhib for it.
That's why I said they could have sacked it. There was no reason for them to like make that call to like let her keep going like that. Like you just sacked the Drake, Cloud Soul point, big deal. You're ahead. It just
they don't even necessarily need to sack the dragon.
He's just gonna have to try to flash on another Darker Lord. Doing a good job of keeping him in the box. His pass is now blocked, but the other health points
alive again.
ETA are just getting obliterated by this Ziggs who just pops bombs over the top of the wall. They're going to focus to tier 2 in the mid lane and flash forward from the silence. They're going to be able to take out the Nautilus. Double kill going over from the
Ziggs. They win.
Super's in your base. Fiora could literally just TP right now and end the game.
Yeah, she can TP and end. If Ziggs TPs, wait. Oh no, save it.
Okay. Yep. Alright, they're backing off here.
They lose an Nexus tower, I think.
Let's find out. The answer is yeah, they do.
They do.
God bless, guys. I'm telling you, if Fiora and Ziggs TP, the game's it's absolutely Joker there.
They both instantly TP'd. Well, I don't think the game's over, but they take both towers for sure.
They can just leave.
And then they just leave after taking both towers once everyone resets and take Baron off that.
We got a blighting jewel coming in, which means that is
he needs a void stick, but he also needs death cap. I think his bigger issue is one-shotting his Ashe and Silas.
So.
And neither of them have MR.
He's 200 AP right now, almost 300. So
yeah, he really
I 100% agree with you on the death cap.
Doing, we crack top open. Now let's go crack bottom.
Yeah.
Looks like they're pinging.
They're really not matching this split well. Okay, Silas now is.
Okay, cool. So they're gonna actually turn for the Baron.
I like the fact that they're gonna keep Poppy.
They're hitting this. They have to know, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they know they're on the Baron right now. They were just hitting it. They are gonna see them coming in, and a really nice enchanted Cristero is gonna stop the engage ever so slightly. But here comes Down, putting in the Keeper's Verdict's gonna knock out 2 of them, and the Baron's now at 2,000 HP. And this is one he's able to claim it, and the Silas is gonna be able to get 21 over tower. He is in full retreat for a shutdown. Going over to Pure. She's looking to end the game, and K-Pep is looking to stop them from taking their
the game ends like this, right?
They lose.
Why
did they do Baron?
Dead. Warlord He's gonna get pulled back, and he's gonna try to kite for the sake of kiting.
You were kidding.
Warrior
That
made
IE
back
build is
into the pit. Warlord able to take out the Zac.
The game's over, bro.
From the side of Tough Daddy. Dark and Warrior, I'm sorry you put up a great fight, but this is not your day. It looks like the bot lane inhibitor is all but taken down.
All right, so I'm gonna quote Tyler One just real briefly as this game ends. Is the most important thing in a League of Legends game is macro. He would say it every single time in these games, and Poppy falls and the game does go over to Dorado, so they're up 2-0 in this series now. But just, like, macro, like, there was a lot of questionable, like, decisions of the macro of that game. They just let Fiora get whatever she wanted. That whole split pushing deal during the Cloud Soul point where she's like, all right, I'm just gonna keep top, just whack everything up there.
Yeah.
And
well,
like,
let me check damage to towers.
Yeah, I'd say my stuff bugged, so like I can't see it. But like, I just have like questions about the macro decisioning on that one because
still did the most.
Ethereal played so good that game. They played so much better than we thought.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
they just gave up so much.
We never did get to see them during the regular split. So my assumption is maybe just like decisions like that are what lose them games. So that's something that I hope they clean up for this next game. Then they have to pull off a reverse sweep at this point. And as we know, reverse sweeps are hard.
Yeah, they're really hard to pull off, especially when you lose a game in that fashion. That puts you onto match point just because it's you're winning fights. You're up in objectives, up in tempo, and you like were doing so well individually in the early game as well. You won pretty much every lane except for mid. You won in jungle, one top, and bot was even, which is pretty much exactly where you want everything to be. It's just the mid lane got a little bit out of control, but it's Jason to Silas, so it's not like unexpected that it went that way. And then they just completely give over way too much on multiple plays. That Baron call was unbelievably risky. You don't have the damage to take Baron, especially when Silas is the one matching Fiora when he doesn't win in 1v1. You have to send Poppy to match him there and just have to take the 4v4 flip because you need both of your damage dealers there to turn off the Baron and win the team fight. So the Fiora split push doesn't end up mattering because Silas can't match her. He just gets dove, as we saw, because she has Hullbreaker and can just kill him and take the tower. And then on top of that, they took Baron, but then they all died because it's just tanks there. They don't have any damage to turn. Ashe is the only one who does damage, and she does do a fair amount, just not enough when it's two tanks and a Jace Ziggs that can hit her from off her screen. So it's just a really questionable call, 2 in a row. Very questionable calls to just take the dragon, 5-man it at that, let Fiora take 2 towers and an inhib, and then not match that top wave. You lose a Nexus tower while trying to pressure on your own Baron play. And then again, after that, you take a very questionable Baron call, send the wrong person to match the split pusher, and then end up losing the game off of it. They did, like you mentioned, though, play individually and like in these fights very well, and they had leads across the map.
That's so sad. And like Dorado even lost the game still behind in gold. Like, oh man,
they were down the whole game.
Macro matters. Macro matters. If you can't play the map, you can't play the game. With that being said, I'm gonna cut you off, Darter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it. No, yeah.
With that being said, that is game number 2. We are gonna take a short little break, and we will be back here on Twitch. Quarterfinals Unstoppable for game number 3. See you in a little bit. Welcome
Hello.
back, everybody, to Unstoppable Quarterfinals. I'm sorry if I cut you off there, Free.
I was just saying what's up.
Yeah, I was just saying, hey. Just
But
saying
yes,
what's up.
welcome back to the quarterfinals here at Unstoppable. Dorado Gaming Iota versus Tenebris Esports Ethereal team. We are now 2-0 if you were just joining us. Unfortunately, had to drop game number 1 due to rulings, PC connectivity, this, that, and the other. But Dorado, I feel like, should get a just love in the chat because they're good sports. Like they let them play even though they didn't have to. So good for them. That means we get to watch some League of Legends. They get to play some League of Legends, and you there sitting at home watching us get to enjoy some League of Legends. So
I can't remember who said it. I think it was Masuf that said, "Yo, we got things to do. I got dates or night or something." It is Halloween
something
weekend.
like that. Something like
so
that.
Halloween parties maybe.
Which it's not even. I looked at my watch expecting there to be a calendar on it, like a. Halloween's on Tuesday. Come on. Why are we throwing Halloween parties on a Saturday?
Because we all work on Tuesday.
That is a rhetorical. It's sarcasm.
There was no infliction of the sarcasm, so I had to.
It was
verify.
dry. It was supposed to be dry humor on that one.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Okay.
I'll believe it when millions wouldn't.
Say, even though that game definitely went unexpectedly, I can feel it in my vocal cords already.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I can feel it in my vocal cords already. That last blunder, I guess, is how I want to phrase it, because it wasn't really a blunder. It was just like a misstep almost from the side of ETA.
Macro misplay.
That's why.
Just the Baron one in general. Like they were trying to get back to base, but K-Peps did a really, really great job of just. I'll meet you at the gates of Valhalla and just dives into their entire
stop their bases.
team.
If yours ending the game.
That's the thing that lets me. Actually, before I get to that, we're starting draft right now, so we'll see.
Right, I will see you guys after draft.
But it's just that's something I was gonna say, that Ethereal just need to clean up those little macro things, and then they are 100% a contender for the rest of this series. It's just unfortunate now. It's like, let's say they didn't lose that first game due to rulings. It would be a 1-game series, and they could shake that off. And all right, no, we have 2 more chances or 3 more chances in this instance to kind of bring it on back. But we have the Iron Band coming in, which I think is the same as last game. Viego also still the same as last game. Are there going to be any adaptations? I'm not sure. I do think, never mind the Zach ban. So there's an adaptation right off rip. Iota probably will stick to the same 3 bans. I don't foresee them needing.
Kassadin, Jarvan. You potentially have to ban Jarvan, Jinx, leave the Kassadin open, and take it for yourself. So I don't know if you're comfortable playing it. Now the question is, do you leave Jinx open, and do you have an answer to it? I do think Ziggs is a very viable counterpick into the Jinx. And that's what a lot of people are starting to do, or what I'm seeing do, is pick Ziggs into it and just completely neutralize it and not care. However, they are going to ban it, and then we have 3 jungle bans for ETA. 2 of them are the same from last game, but they're going to ban the Zac instead of the Jinx that they had to ban last time.
Interesting.
And then they're banning Ziggs, so we're going to see Jarvan instantly locked in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, I don't know if Iota's jungler plays it, but if we see something like Lee Sin or Orianna, or just Orianna Rakan, something like that. But there's a lot of things they can play against this. I don't think ETA's top laner plays anything like Rumble or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that deadly combo. But Jarvan first pick is still really strong.
I would love to see some Lee Sin. Looks like they're actually going. I would say they're starting to take the Poppy for themselves. I actually would love to see Poppy Talia, and I was just gonna say I would love to see some Lee Sin, because we've been seeing a lot of it at Worlds coming out of Canyon specifically.
It's a good match into
Canyon's Lee Sin, and I actually agree with you. So locking that in, I think would be very good. Whether or not Iota's jungler plays that, I wouldn't doubt it if K-Paps plays it. I won't say he's a hard champion to play, but it's really just the insects of what kind of make Lee Sin hard.
Yeah. Ezreal. I mean, it does completely nullify the Jarvan. There's few ADCs that cannot care, and there's
Orianna. They're going the ball combo.
What I want to know is if they're going to lock in Rumble with that, because they could, and that makes it really hard for Iota to pick top lane, especially since they're so heavily indexing on side laners. Rumble can just ult waves and leave. They could also play things like Kennen, GP, Cassante, Renekton, Gnar, stuff like that. There's a lot of options they have. I would expect them to pick their full top side here and just drop bot lane.
So, I don't know if Dark Warrior
unless they want to pick Vayne.
Doesn't look like he plays Rumble. Looks like they're gonna go with the Rakan. So they're going with that full ball combo that we'll see out of the
I
Jarvan
see a Braum
Orianna.
pick here. Now Braum into Rakan is not that
Yeah.
good. However,
Syndra,
Syndra, I
it was banned last game.
don't like that.
Yeah, you were mentioning
You're
mentioning it's kind of a counter, but also like a skill matchup if they
Yeah.
know how to play
So
Syndra.
yeah, the thing is Orianna counters Syndra unless the Syndra player is very good at Syndra. Then it's a skill matchup. Which is why we see it traded all the time at Worlds because they're good enough at Syndra to make a skill matchup.
Yes.
But in general, you just have to be very good at Syndra to make it a skill matchup, kind of like Rakan into Nautilus, although that's more of a favored counter pick. It's just like it becomes more of a skill matchup if you're better at Rakan. It's kind of like Lee Sin as well. Like a lot of the things that Lee Sin is good against scales with player skill. That champion scales with player skill. This particular matchup in mid lane does scale with player skill. The better the Syndra player is, the less Orianna favorite it is. But if the Orianna player is very good as well, it's not that great. Wouldn't be surprised if ETA banned Camille, by the way, because I think that champ is very strong for them. I am assuming this is a Poppy jungle.
I would think so far. The Fiora ban coming in, which I'm okay with that. I mean, it was only a problem really in the side lanes. Other than that, they were dumpstering Masooth on that champion during the laning phase.
Okay.
And Ornn, interesting. So it kind of makes me wonder
So
what they have in
Camille.
mind. So maybe they pick. Who were they
what
picking in the
here?
Because if you're banning
Because if they're banning Ornn, it's not Poppy top. They're not looking to play Camille or Gwen.
Yeah, see, neither one of those two, which is interesting.
What are they looking for?
Scion? Question mark?
Are they trying to play like Renekton or something like that?
Renekton?
Or like Cassante or something?
That's
But
kind of
they
hard
like
to
split
tell.
pushers. The Ornn ban is interesting. They might just be trying to take top off comfort.
Maybe.
But we've seen massive, absolutely dumpster Ornn on Camille before.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they banned it. They should just pick support here. It's pretty free. I think Alistar is good. It's just a pretty.
I can see why they banned the Ornn, though. Again, that's another really strong wombo combo that
Yep,
can
there it
potentially
is.
come in. So Alistar is going to be picked up.
Xayah is still open.
So we have now they could pick their bot lane and top lane here for Ethereal.
Xayah, Sivir,
Kind of trying to think of like who.
Zeri.
Yeah, like who do you pick here in this instance? I mean, Ezreal, not no matter what, is usually pretty decent in the meta.
Yeah, it's a Xayah Sivir Zeri angle, not
Or
that.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan
I
of Misfortune
understand
either.
the theory behind the MF because you have Jarvan Orianna.
Yeah, you have
just
the whole
you
wombo
press alt,
combo.
everyone's stuck in the box, right? However, it's Syndra, Alistar, Ezreal, which completely counters that engage, and they're gonna go Malphite.
Too.
They're just playing full wombo Bronze Zodiac comp. The only thing that's missing is Vi Galio. That's like it's the only thing that can make this more Bronze Zodiac is those two champions, but I don't know how much I like that. The Malphite fixes it a little bit because that champ can't get countered by the Poppy Alistar.
Yeah.
So just stick the ball on Malphite. He ults in, you ult, Jarvan ults over top, MF ults over top, Rakan ults over top. Everyone is stuck in the bullet time.
Could pick Gwen if they wanted to. I mean,
yeah, they could go Gwen. I think Gwen's pretty good. Yeah, it's just they kind of lack a little bit of physical damage if they go Gwen.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's not an issue because you're playing as Malphite. You don't want to stack physical damage characters. I do think Gwen's actually really good now that you mention it.
Yeah, I mean, Aatrox is open still,
but I like that less.
I don't really. I've seen what B5 cannons can do, and
any Volibear enjoyers?
Yeah, I'd say that's another one we haven't seen in a while is Volibear. It looks like they're gonna go and go with Camille. Okay.
All right. Pick your one trick. I get it.
Fine. I mean, especially if they're looking to end this series and right here, right now, it kind of makes sense.
Oh, they could have gone Silas top.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that could have been good. There's so many good ultimates here for Silas minus the MF.
They should have gone Silas. I actually really like the Silas pick. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring Hyper in here, get his thoughts on the draft, and kind of vibing for what I'm seeing right now on the side of Iota.
I'm gonna be real. I was like ETA. I was like, okay, that's a good pick. I'm like, okay, Oriball standard. And then the Rakan comes in, like, all right. And then as Darter's saying, it's like, oh, we have Zeri, we have Xayah. I'm like, yeah, all of these good picks, and then they lock in Misfortune. I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't play the Misfortune this game. I understand the Wombo is good, but the Syndra can hit you from across the map. I don't care how good your Wombo is. Your bullet time does nothing if you're dead.
Yeah, I think the other issue with I think that's definitely a problem. You're one-shottable by this Syndra.
You have
Yeah.
two people who can one-shot you.
The big
Camille hook shot over the wall,
exactly.
and the Syndra can hit you. Like,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it's
you will not get to play the game. Like,
it
they
not
will see you
only
and target you.
yeah, not only are you one-shottable, but and the R5 Camille just makes this MF pick really hard to play because you're just gonna get hook shot from over the wall
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
you
Or just Hextech Ultimatum and you just
at that
die.
point half their damage is gone, right?
And,
So
and the worst part is you don't have enough peel on your team to protect you from an Ezreal, a
it's all
Poppy, a
dive, right? Yeah.
Syndra, an Alistar. There's not enough peel in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now,
Cataclysm, sure, but Arcane shit,
yeah.
hook
Now
shot, scatter the
technically,
weak. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
oh man.
I've said this before multiple times, and like it is technically true in this game. They have so much dive threat that it does create a natural peel for this MF to just throw a ulti over top. However, like you said, Alistar, Camille, Syndra, Poppy, Ezreal should be able to dodge their engage very easily. And most of their engage is negated by 3 of those champions I just mentioned. And if
Yeah.
nobody is marking Camille and everyone's focused on dive, your MF is not going to be able to layer damage over top. And she will just get one shot, which is half their damage gone. Which means this Orianna is going to have to get unbelievably ahead to be able to actually make this comp fully work. And if this Orianna's shockwaves aren't connecting, I feel like this comp really falls apart and you're just relying on like a massive Malphite ult to just save the game. Now, like I said, it's Bronze Zodia, which is not a hard composition to execute. But playing against Iota's comp, especially which I'm assuming this Camille is just going to be sitting in top or bot lane,
Yeah.
slamming on your Nexus.
Yeah.
If you're playing a full 5v5, just like Wombo comp, and nobody can match this Camille, we run into a similar issue that we had last game.
I'm just kind of like reading through, not like reading, but like kind of like braining the draft right now at the moment myself, and if okay, so we got a little unexpected treat from Ethereal in the last game. Now, hopefully that kind of continues with their good team fighting that they had in the last game. They scaled really well. Unfortunately, those little macro things. Now, speaking of macro, kind of like bleed into like Dragon Souls potentially, because I think this depending on what this Dragon Soul is, will like determine what kind of priority that we'll see from these teams. If I'm just kind of like brainstorming in my head, I'm gonna pick Mountain Soul for myself because we're gonna also keep with the meme trend of Cloud Mountain, Cloud Mountain, Cloud Mountain.
Yeah.
But I think a Mountain Soul would be very good for Ethereal in this instance,
for sure.
especially with like the kind of beef that they have on their team. Now, it also would be good for the other side, granted, but just on the side of Ethereal, just with that Camille kind of one-shotting your backline, just having that extra beef to keep it from doing that, I think would be very good for them. I don't know how this game will go, but I think if they play it exactly like the last game, we could see a 2-1. Otherwise, this is going to be a really early night for us, boys.
Yeah, I think this like ETA's draft has potential to do a lot of work. We've talked about the Wombo, and it's a massive Wombo at that. It's just the comp they're playing into makes their Wombo a little bit hard to pull off, but if they can pull it off, it does a lot of work. I'm just worried about the split push and side lane issue, because we saw Massive go 0-6 and still end the game by split pushing. So if this Camille isn't put in the dirt, and isn't continued to be matched by somebody, and I don't know who that would be other than Malphite, who you kind of need to be in these team fights because he's the only one of your 3 engaged threats, or 4, I should say, that don't get countered by Poppy, Alistar, and Syndra. So you kind of need him there to start things off, because if you can get a good unstoppable force, you then can drop the Cataclysm over, which is also unstoppable, but you can like EQ R or like EQ Flash R or something like that, throw the Orianna ball over, you can recon ult over a wall, because once that unstoppable force is over, you don't really have to necessarily worry about the Poppy W, the Scatter of the Weak, because all their attention is focused on this Malphite ulting at them, so you can actually layer the CC really well, and if the MF is allowed to get the bullet time off, it's a lot of damage. This champion is very strong and has been for a while. I think she's sitting at like a 51.2% win rate in solo queue. So definitely a very strong ADC. It's just hard to play in this particular game, just with the amount of counter engage they have, and this Ezreal's going to be very hard to lock down.
So what Dragon Soul you got, Darter?
I think it was Cloud last game, right? All right, well, it's got to be Cloud this game then.
All right, Hyper, what you got?
But ironically, I think a Cloud Soul would be really good in this game, especially for the side of ETA. Just multiple shockwaves, cataclysms, the swiftness, unstoppable force, both times. Just if they're coming off of, Like every time they fight, they come off cooldowns for the next fight. It's gonna be cancer. It's gonna be broken.
Yeah.
And Twitch chat, you will get to see it on the Rift for game number 3 when we come back after this short little break.
apparently my life sucks.
Hey,
So
hi,
we're gonna
everybody.
flame me right now.
Are we flaming you? I can't see what's going on. I'm staring at our three beautiful faces.
Yeah, me too. So it is the mountain drake that is the first drake, which is why I'm talking again, because FML. So that's really cool. And looks like we got a 5-point
Topside invade.
The topside invade
Topside
happening.
invade coming out from the side of ETA. They're just gonna hard commit
got
to
the
this
ward.
one. I mean, okay, we're done. Just get that ward in the red buff. I
One
like
CS lead. Might as well FF now.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no!
Get him outta here.
Dorado is popping off.
And on that note, both of these ADCs have Ghost, by the way.
Why are you going
Reefers.
Ghost, MF? Oh no!
Reefers.
Okay, so they're
I'm
both
more worried.
going-
I'm more worried about the Ghost on Ezreal, especially into Rakan. You need cleanse.
Why are the both of them not taking cleanse actually in this instance?
It makes a little bit of sense for neither of them to take cleanse because it's like mostly knockups, but you need cleanse on Ezreal for the quickness, like follow-up engage, so you can cleanse flash out of it or cleanse e-buffer out of it, because you can e-buffer all the other engage. So you just need to be able to cleanse the quickness.
It wouldn't be that helpful for the MF in lane, but 100% helpful in team fights because of scatter the weed.
Yeah, if you get slapped by a scatter.
Yeah, and the hook shot stun, and then Poppy stun into the wall. Like you kind of need to have that cleanse at that point.
Yeah,
if you're not gonna take cleanse, like exhaust at that.
I think exhaust is better for MF than cleanse this game, just because it's like you're not really cleansing anything, and if you're getting hit by a Poppy and you cleanse it, you're dead anyways.
Yeah,
honestly.
Classic.
Yep,
oh,
it's
wow. Massive is doing massive things right there.
We gave him Camille.
That's without Q, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, we gave him.
Oh yeah, she started hook shot. You're right.
Yep. So that matchup's gonna be kind of lopsided for a little while, if not a little while.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of running the
here we go.
For MF this game. I think PTA would have been a little bit better. Personally.
I like the first strike. It's so much damage late game with your ult.
Well, I feel that, but I feel like I don't know how effective that would be when we get to late game trying to peel from Poppy and Alistar simultaneously.
I mean, you're almost always going to be getting first strike off because like nobody's really hitting you except for like a straight Ezreal Q. But then at that point, you're just bad close ratio.
Say, Massive stacked this wave beautifully.
Yeah.
And poked him so well. There's no way he doesn't dive that though.
He can't. I mean, like if his jungler was up here, if K-Peps was here, no. Because you trade flash for flash and then just take tower shots and now your lane advantage is gone. If K-Peps was there for the dive, 100%.
I agree. I think you just kind of lose everything and just die, and then top lane's actually just like next level.
I don't think he dies,
choker.
but you trade
Jarvan's
flashes.
Here.
It's like not great.
Wait. Jarvan's bot side. Hold on a second.
Yeah, there's no way he gets anything. Like at most you get Alistar flash, right?
I mean, unless he's waiting for Scuttle.
Oh, Daddy just putting in work on the Cinder right now. Wow, I forgot to bring this up in draft when you guys were talking about the matchup in there in the mid lane. Tough Daddy actually is a pretty damn good Cinder player, so
okay,
it will be a skill matchup.
Yeah. You just have to be so good at Cinder to make this a skill matchup, because otherwise it's just Orianna favorite.
Yeah, 100%. So looks like the first strike on. Hold on a second.
And we have K-Peps coming in for the first game.
No TP, there's a dive.
Back Dark and Warrior. He's gonna get slowed up.
No, he doesn't.
Survives that game. He does have the wave though to give him a little bit of advantage if they decide to go back in.
I hope
I'm just gonna say
this.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna casually say it's a Ruby Crystal diff, which is why Dark Ruby Crystal there. Just easy gap with the Ruby Crystal, so the wave will push into Massive at this point.
Does he crash it though?
I don't think he can freeze this one. It's like half
crash. Camille just jumped into his face. Dark and Warrior taking a lot of extra damage. That empowered Q cutting through his health bar. That rank up giving him a little bit of extra health. He was able to crash that way, so he's gonna take his back, reset, maybe get a little extra health, maybe a cloth armor.
I would think so. I mean, I don't know if he had the gold for it. 260 gold. Doesn't have the gold for it. Just fire fillables.
I hope he's not. No, he's not. It's like, you better not be. I was joking.
I say just buy a refillable.
Wait for the cloth armor, honestly.
I don't even know if he wants to buy a refill. I think he just sits on. I think he just cries because he had to base and then walks back to lane in sadness because he wanted to buy a cloth ever was 30 gold short.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
that's what I would do if I was
honestly, I'm waiting in Fountain for him to go. Like,
no, you'd be
my
not
lane's
against
already
Camille,
going
bro.
I don't
You'd be
want to go
trolling.
even more for it.
You'd be trolling.
Not against Camille. No. Like maybe if it's a tank, maybe, but never against Camille. Just any
Just
kind
let
of
her set up the
acceleration.
wave perfectly, and then because you'd be getting to wave like
As she starts
now.
to
Like you'd be getting into lane now,
oh, she has her.
and she would have been able to like free hit this wave and stack it, and you'd just be like immediately under tower.
Yeah. And the Poppy
Oh,
looks
she
like
has level 6.
Oh.
Hook shot not going to be able to get the stun off on that, but a really nice slow coming out from Darkened Warrior that empowered Q and the W, giving him a little bit of extra.
Poppy's
room
coming
to
bot.
get away. Unfortunate. Massive doesn't get that kill.
Got a really good
dive,
counter
but we have
Uh-oh.
a dive down, a gank down here in the bot lane. Kemphex is going to push Essen Miss under the tower. He's going to take one free tower shot. The Ignite taking away now. Kemphex still on the advance. That Flag Dragon's going to get interrupted immediately. And Essen and Miss is going to be taken out for Plugona Ezreal. He's going to double kill. Make it a triple. No, we can't have it. Corey JJ's a support, not an 80.
Oh, no. Excellent timing from
Oh, he's got 2.5k gold.
What a hook shot. Max range. But go ahead.
I
It's
think
a bit.
doomed.
Yeah. How do we say Joe doomed?
Joe doomed. I like that.
It's a bit Joe lost. No, it is comebackable, obviously, but 3 kills on Ezreal is not what you wanted to have happen. However,
ultimatum to follow up. Massive gonna get out of that one.
That was
Takes one
close.
too many turret shots.
Yes.
Essen and missed. Was here for the follow-up if Camille stayed in the area.
he could have hookshot back in and tried to flash out, but I think that's so unbelievably risky. I'm glad he hookshot out.
Yeah, I'm right there with
That would
you.
be so much ego. That would be such
I
an ego
think he
play.
gets the kill, but I think he dies if he does that.
Maybe, I think
I'll be real,
so.
I was not expecting Poppy to have the damage to solo the Drake. I'll be real.
Oh, that champ base damage is disgusting. Her Q does percent max health, I think.
Yeah,
It's either percent max or percent
missing.
I'm missing. I think it's percent max.
Let's find out. 9% max health physical damage.
Max, okay.
So yeah, Poppy is
Yeah.
I won't say she's been sleeper broke because she's been broke since her rework.
She's been busted for like a year and a half. Just no one plays her.
Yeah, it's very interesting just like how strong that champion is, and she doesn't get as much play. She's gotten a lot more play this year. Scout of the Week misses. Okay.
Ooh, everything missing.
Yeah. So, but she's been getting a lot more play this year, as we saw with a lot of the Poppy jungle that came through, Poppy top every now and then. But just finally that champion getting the respect she deserves because she's so strong and so good into so many champions. That's why. So I'm actually gonna like transition to this point that I was reading recently from. Oh my God, who said it? I think it was either Vedius or Azale. But maybe I'll hold that thought.
Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
But anyways, they were mentioning that like there are a lot of champions in the game that are very good that don't get played often, and it's kind of a shame to see as many of the same champions that we do, because I think it's been the same like 40 champions that we've seen so far in Worlds out of the 160 that are in the game. So it's one of those things where hold on a second.
So you're gonna go right in onto the Orianna. The Scatter Week is gonna miss, but all of that first strike damage does come through. Giving the thumbs up. Love it. Don't know if that's BM
What are we doing here? This is
good sportsmanlike conduct, but taking a lot of free poke at the end of that.
I mean, I would flash the thumbs
Oh,
up after
Scatter
that.
the Week is gonna
There it
come
is, and
through,
she's dead.
And there's the ultimate power. It is gonna claim another kill. That is one on the board for the mid laner for the Iota.
Pretty big kill as well, because Orianna was about to catch a wave. She would have been about, I think, like 10 CS up. This is like a 2-stacked wave, but now ends up being down in CS because the wave does crash, gets up late as well. So now, off that kill alone, it's like a 600 gold, like a 300 gold swing, 500 gold swing, including the plate and CS lead.
Like
so overall, it's a 700 lead in general in mid lane, is on top of the lead in bot lane now for those 3 kills. So that's where the entire
when Marco comes off of the gold, this is the gold. Here's the gold graph. But look at that, Ezreal sitting on Triforce.
Jeez, it's barely 10 minutes in the game. Good lord. But, I mean, for that first blood plus the extra 2 kills, I mean, it makes sense. And they haven't even gotten any tower plates, but like, We kind of expected that with those 3 kills went over to him. So like,
I kind of hope he went Essence server this game.
Second item.
First.
Oh, first. Oh, okay. I can see that.
Essence server and a man immune.
Yeah,
and then you go Cyrildas, and you go Duskblade.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of.
I've been testing out the build recently, and it's very strong. You just die faster, but you do so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the payoff of.
But I think in this game it's fine because you need to do damage, and you're getting one shot anyways if you get hit by
Poppy
CC.
is here for this counter gank if SNN Mist decides to pull the trigger.
They're completely fine here.
They know Poppy is there, obviously. Did we just lose somebody?
No, I think someone came in by accident.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, did I lose one of my friends?
No.
But that gank at the mid.
We can fix that. But...
Oh no. we don't need you to go anywhere. Drake's spawning in a minute and 15.
Yeah,
And to answer your question, Freak, I think it was Vedius because he was going on a tangent about something other than that led him into the.
We have all. It was mostly because of Adam playing Garen too. It's like,
it was like the first dive for you thing that they did for Worlds, I think. Was it that or was it different?
I don't remember what it was, but I mean,
he was on a rant in Worlds. I'm pretty sure it's the one he was talking about. And I think it was during that Garen game.
It's just the point. The point is there are a lot of champions in the game. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Oh wait.
I mean, we were looking at the bot lane. Then we go over the mid lane through his mastery, but doesn't even get the kill. But here comes J4. He's in the river. He sees Tough Daddy. The direct camera doesn't want me to see it.
He wants to kill. He knows.
The flash, the stat of the week doesn't land. He is out of mana, and SN decides to back off.
Since he flashed Mastery, I was kind of hoping he'd die and then get Mastery Flash on, but...
I know, right?
That's what I do on people, honestly. The Grand Entrance is going to find the Alistar, the Flagon Dragon is going to find him as well. He's going to pop his ultimate. He is now super tanky. The Ignite ticking away. I don't think they're going to be able to get him just in time. Flashes that Grand Entrance, doesn't get knocked up, but luckily ETA claims the river. And they're going to drop Terrell right there. Tough Daddy forced to back in the lane as they are getting this mid pressure.
TP in the bot lane coming in from Orianna, probably to gain some priority with Drake.
And on to the support, and Poppy's gonna flash forward, stun him into the wall. Keeper's verdict to keep the chain CC going, and he is gonna be able to get out of there. Herald,
really nice play.
Not able to get that charge off. Iota doing a really great job of not only making sure they maintain mid contest, but stopping the Herald from charging.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. That's more of what I was, I think, all 3 of us were expecting from the much cleaner than last game.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's one of my favorite interactions is the Poppy E flash.
Yeah.
It's so good when it's done right. It just looks so cool.
But it's really funny when someone messes it up.
That's even better. So this Drake will go over. Let's see if it's a Cloud Soul, shall we? It's a Hex Soul.
The curse has been broken.
This is the second series, by the way, that
curse has been broken.
We have 8, right? This is our 8th series.
Yeah.
8 series where that doesn't take place. Except
there
in the top lane. I'm pretty sure Darken Warrior doesn't live this one, but he does flash, and he gets out of that one. J4 here, but
he's actually doing really well in this matchup, by the way. Darken Warrior.
I'm not gonna lie. Malphite hasn't died, and I'm kind of shocked.
Hasn't died, is only down like a wave, and that's just because of that flash he had to burn. His TD's back now. He's been even CS pretty much the whole game, so he's been doing well at top.
Like, I'm actually shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with what we saw Massive do on
we've seen what this guy does on this board.
Yeah, it's just very well. And actually, Alistair's here for a top game.
Yeah, because healing is balanced. That shielding is balanced. We have 3 members for each game versus the 2. That is Dorado, Iota. They're going to be able to get over to.
Oh, he just used it. He's dead now.
This is going to be able to get blocked. The Massive is going to fall. Darken Warrior claims the first kill for ETA.
Okay.
He also went the wrong direction. I think if he goes under a tower there, they potentially can turn it because I saw the angle there for the turn. Yeah, the Herald spawns right now. It's the second Heralds are not the greatest, but still good that are able to get that off the top kill as well because makes that play definitely worth it. They can crack mid with it.
I was going to say they can definitely crack and or get it close to falling.
Yeah.
If I were them, it's 3 minutes for the next Drake to save it for the next Drake so that we get that mid-prio that we'll see, because that's what a lot of teams will do, is use it for that mid-prio. I think if Orianna walks up, she's dead. Yep.
Not quite.
Oh,
Quite.
never mind.
I
Half
do
of an
gotta say,
half an item more, and she gets it.
Tough is playing this matchup really well, but Oriana, unironically, is also playing the matchup well because she's just not dying for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't die in this matchup 1v1. You can die if people show up in your lane. But speaking of people showing up in your lane.
And yeah, here comes the jungler. Here comes Poppy. It's gonna be a jungle dip. Knocks him back, but the unstoppable force says, "I live to fight another day."
If he, okay, what I don't know is if he got hit by the hook shot and ulted like as he got hit, would she follow him or just like stop?
I think she would follow him. The flash ran in. She's not going to be able to land. And that extra bit of shielding doesn't save him in response. Tough.
All right, calm down. You don't got to match.
Throwing the mastery that he is a single player. They is going to dive this Malphite due to him, what they've been doing to them that first game.
So that bot lane play went awry because they went in early before Jarvan got there. If Jarvan was there, Syndra has no flash and she dies. Now maybe Oriana still dies too.
Yeah, well, she shouldn't. She shouldn't die there. She just stepped up too far, wasn't respecting the damage trade back from Syndra. Like you said, goes in before even Rakan gets there.
Yeah.
Like fully. Didn't use the quickness in that play. Jarvan's not there to drop the Cataclysm. You do use the Shockwave, but it's not enough damage at this point in the game, especially when you're mythic to no mythic in this mid lane. So just a little bit overzealous on that play. Rakan does lose both summoners as well. And Syndra didn't even have to flash in that play.
Yeah. So she didn't even have it. That's the worst part. She didn't even have it yet. So it's just interesting call, just one of those unfortunate errors that cost them, and Syndra gets another kill for free, unfortunately. So that does make her stronger in the end, which is a problem because she's level 12. But I'm assuming going towards that Shadow Flame next, that makes the most sense. How many passive stacks does she have? She has 86 passive stacks now.
Okay, so she's at the second part of her passive?
Yep, so that ulti is going to one-shot someone, and yeah, that's going to be kind of brutal. I mean, looks like we have some fighting here on the top side. I do think Camille kind of just flat out wins this now.
Hextech ultimation just might seal the deal. Darken Warrior's health bar is now half health. His unstoppable force is available. The hook shot is going to come through. And the unstoppable force gets him away. As an miss, it's actually going to get pinched right there in his red side jungle. Gets stunned up, knocked up by falling for a year, but the rest of his team is here. And the Flag and Drag is going to get stopped by that W from Poppy. Drake spawning in 25 seconds, and Iota has claim of the pit.
Poppy into Jarvan, it's playable, I promise. Or Jarvan into Poppy, I should say.
But what we just saw top lane is exactly what I think a lot of us were thinking in this draft is who's going to match this Camille come this mid-late game. And it ain't going to be this Malphite.
No, I mean, the only one who really could, question mark, is Rory, but she gets one shot.
She gets one shot instantly.
So, like, there's not really much they can do, especially, like, because Camille is just Camille. I mean, it just forces him, because, like, he's like most...
Look at this.
I know.
He is tanky enough to survive.
Look at this.
No, there's no way. I'm sorry, man.
She can dive him, or he has to base, and then they drop top to 2, and then that means they also drop mid.
Gonna find Oriana. She's gonna be able. She flashes forward, dodges the Ezreal ult, gets the shielding so that she doesn't die to the burden from the Leandries.
Syndra, weak champ.
That Rift Herald does not charge again. I think this is the first time we've seen both Heralds not get the charge off.
Yeah, and they're also they're gonna trade mid tier 1 get
the other team killed it before it could get the charge.
Not only does it not get the charge, they also lose mid tier 1 and Drake, and they're gonna lose bot pressure and potentially bot tier 1.
I think so. Looks like Syndra's moving down for it. Oh, maybe not.
No, she is.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's. Oh, unfortunate. But does it really matter? I mean, it's gold that Syndra's sitting on. She's on 1,200 gold, so it has pretty decent. Oh no, Camille's coming.
Oh, here comes Camille.
No.
And they see Rakan clearing out vision at that. And the rest of the team is going to be able to make their way down.
All 5 are bot side.
Rakan
no.
sees the K-Peps coming in. Hookshot coming through. Finds Oriana. The Hextech ultimate keeps her right into place. The stun into the wall. And the TP coming from the Malphite just to watch his mid laner fall.
I love this TP top.
Yeah, I just get the kill, go back, get that pressure in.
Unfortunately, the wave is not in a good spot, but still, you just can put so much pressure because you know Malphite TP down here. There's no other TP on the map for 20 seconds. Malphite will then have to base and reset to match this top base. Gets canceled. So now she gets top tier 2.
They're baiting this.
Yep. The unstoppable fortune, the Cataclysm are gonna go through, and they get a shutdown onto the Syndrome. Flashing over that wall. K-Pets comes in, stuns him into the wall, but Darkened Warrior and S&M
not even there.
Look at the top of your screen, because here comes Ezreal, and he's coming for blood. A Mystic Shot finds the minion, but the rest of the team is still tanking up
no damage.
And Camille is just sitting in the top lane farming minions.
So right before that whole start of that play, the one thing that kept playing in my mind was that one dude from Regular Show that goes, "Oh no, bro!" That's all I could keep hearing every time they started like gathering around the bot side. And questionable decision making from Misfortune not roaming with the Ezreal.
Yeah, she went top to try and counter the push. Orianna TP'd.
I mean, both of them.
Yeah, I don't.
Both of them just die. I mean, if Camille decides to 100-0 one of them, and now
she didn't go back in. She just walked away. But yeah, she could have easily turned on to MF because MF was chasing while Orianna was clearing wave.
There should be half of the Hydra done too, or at least 3/4 of the Hydra for Camille done. So yep, there's the Vamp Scepter.
I think she should go bot here. She should go
bot. Nope, she's deciding not to.
I mean, I think she should go bot.
Doesn't have TP, I agree. So I get it. She doesn't have TP, so I understand her going top. But she should go bot here. Because you want to be opposite objective to create pressure on the opposite side of the map, and then do a classic Huni Baron where they 5-man bot lane, and then you take Baron for free.
Classic Huni Baron, I like that.
That's what SKT used to do all the time.
Yeah, I know. Just send him somewhere in the side lane.
Just have him inside their Nexus in bot lane, and then they go match him because they have to, and then you take Baron for free while he dies.
Yes, the good old SKT Baron Huni days. Got to be said they didn't win a World Series, but they got second, I think it was.
They should have. Yeah, they made it to finals, lost.
Funny enough, Tuff didn't have the flash trap because the Unstoppable Force hit, but it didn't hit him.
Short.
It was just short, so that flash was actually late.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, but better safe than sorry. To be completely honest, all the Hydra's done, so Camille is 1v9 now, and Israel also.
So you're telling me she wasn't a problem the past 20 minutes?
It'll be worse. She should go bot here though.
I think
it's a bit of a mistake from Dorado to have her top lane.
I definitely agree. One thing I do gotta say is mildly unfortunate.
A minute and a half before next break, yeah, honestly.
I also gotta say one thing that's really unfortunate is Ori only has 192 stacks on the tier, and it's 22 minutes, so very far behind where she wants to be. I know she started at 15, which is one of those things where it's like you should have bought it first back if you were gonna try to stack tiers. Yeah. It delays the scaling that Orianna has.
Yeah, he's back in the mode.
What are we doing here?
Bush. I guess they're just trying to set up for this dragon. It is their soul fight.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
But they could have taken Baron if Camille was gone, and then they just go Drake after.
But this play is the same concept, but for soul rather than Baron.
I mean, they could get both, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm with Dutter on this one. Oh no, here we go.
They are gonna see K-Pets and falling from you sitting in that bush. Well, look, it's a really nice stun from that E.
Yeah, she does damage, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she finished her.
What is that Poppy champion? Like, what?
She's just taking negative
He doesn't take damage. Like, what is this?
So, I'm looking at currently at the Misfortune build. I understand the lethality build because you are looking to shred through them, but at the same time, I think on hit's better, especially in this instance.
That's why I was saying going for the PTA rather.
I would have gone lethality this game.
Strike.
No, that's why are we
Malphite gonna TP in. They're gonna full send for this raid. And then Camille could just sort of end the game.
She has a wave now. Now she can take top.
I mean, Orianna does have a TP. They are gonna find S&M miss right there. He's gonna get knocked up, stunned up. Let's push tries to get back to provide some support, and they aren't able to give it to him. They throw the TP down for the Drake fight, and the jungler, unfortunately, was not there. K-Pets taking a lot of damage from the opposite side of the map. A really nice bullet time finds a couple of members, but she needs to be able to do a little bit more damage for you. It's now going to be falling down on the rim.
Wow.
It's finding the damage to take him out. Dark Warrior finds 2 kills. Where JJ has a full health bar and K-Peps can give him enough support to take him out as well. And it looks like it's going to be an ace for the side of Iota.
Poppy's balanced.
Yeah, this champ is fair. Also, that bullet time hit absolutely nobody.
Yeah, it was like hitting Alistair for a little bit. Unfortunately,
yeah, but it's so hard for her to ult in this game. This is what I was saying with this MF pick. Is the wombo's there, but it's hard to pull it off against this Raft. Rakan tries to go in, gets cancelled. Alistar tries to go in, gets his engage canceled. Jarvan dies before the play, or excuse me, Orianna tries to get an ult off, dies. Malphite can't go in because he doesn't have his ult up, and Jarvan died before the play happened. So there's just no setup for this MF that's reliable.
Yeah, Hextech Soul ends up going over, so they are firmly in.
That MF ult did hit tough.
It hit an ulting Alistar.
An ulting Alistar.
Ulting Alistar, and it got a few rounds onto tough, but he was able to like.
I think only one wave hit him.
I don't know, maybe.
I think
Definitely one wave.
I'm pretty sure at most one wave hit him. I'm pretty sure it only hit Alistar, to be honest.
Definitely. But, and now here we are, 26 minutes in the game. They're down 8,000 gold. I can't math apparently, so they're down 8,000 gold. It's probably about 9 or 10 with the Drake, so you'll say about 10.
Yeah, with Hextech Soul and you're playing Ezreal Syndra.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt a lot. So Corey JJ on 3 items right now at the moment. Syndra
now he's going bot lane good.
Looks like that is gonna be a Shadow Flame after all. Went to the
Syndra
Zonians
shouldn't be here though. She should be top.
I definitely
because now they lose this top wave. That hook shot hit my window.
That definitely hit my window too, but the Hextech Ultimatum hits Dark and Warrior, and the rest of the team are going to be able to flash.
You were right.
They're going to have to flash over, but now they find the
There it is. They're picking it.
Miss finds his flag and drag. Finally, the hook shot max
no way
range
he gets out.
does get him away, but this is out. So game it for Brandon. He's going to be able. He's going to whip, and Massive might just be able to get out of this. We're going to shut down a huge one going over to MF.
Yep.
And as my fellow friends were saying, Iota just takes Baron on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and if we get a bot lane tier 1, yay!
I just in my mind, it's just. Right? In my mind, I'm like seeing like just out of nowhere, just Huni just coming into our chat, just giving a thumbs up, and then just leaving, and that's it, because that's exactly what you predicted. Send Camille bot, they sent 4 or 5, and they sent 4, and they just get the Baron.
It's the classic split push strategy. You send your top laner into their nexus, 5 people show up, and you take Baron.
That's the worst part. They have to send that many people.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe 2. They could probably send 2 J4.
That's why it's so good, because if they send their jungler down there, the Baron's free.
I mean, J4 has to go to deal the damage.
I mean, realistically, if they don't want to lose Baron for that, they only send Malphite Orianna.
Yeah, I think that's the
They send both their solo lanes. One of them has TP, so Orianna can TP to the Baron fight and make it a 4v5, and then Camille split doesn't really matter that much because you can at least fight the Baron. But since they send all 4 down there, it's completely free.
Oh my god!
But the quickness finds a couple times, and he's gonna get stunned up instantly. Corey JJ is unstoppable. Cataclysm is gonna hold K-Peps in the cage, but K-Peps says, you are trapped in here with me.
Oh, that's GG, they end.
They now are marching down the mid lane.
They can end.
Trying to chase and trying to get back. Ori plus Malphite to stop this siege.
There's no way they can. I mean, they'll just do whatever they want.
I mean, doing it right now because that shielding is balanced. Totally
20 seconds on MF.
They have a wave too, so I think Alistair popped off to tank this. So
they have 2 cannon minions.
Oh, he's gonna find the knockup onto both of them. The hook shot. He's gonna go through, but a really nice stopwatch coming out from line not bother. Khan gets immediately deleted from that battle of the week, and you are looking at the quarterfinal list.
Semi-finalist.
Farm the damage shards, bud. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got a KPA. It's not totally the second split
that MF was farming the damage charts. I would too.
I was prepping that victory screen.
That's right. It was that one base game where they saved the game and you had like a I remember that. That was good. That was good. But so Dorado ends up taking the series 3-0. So what all of us were right that Dorado would win. Me, Melu, and Darter were right that it was a 3-0. So
if they were able to play game 1, maybe.
I think if game one,
Yeah.
I think if game two is game one, then we'd still be, saying that they're still in an okay position.
I mean, it'd be in a 2-0 position, but after both of those games, even if we had another game to play, they don't have an answer to the split push style that Iota plays. We saw them play it last week against Crimson Spartans to the same effect, where if Massive doesn't even like win lane, because I mentioned it, he was even for like 15 minutes. Dark and Warrior was actually doing a really good job in this 1v1 in lane. But you just don't have an answer to split because you're playing this so heavily into team fighting, and split push beats the team fighting composition if you know how to play with split pushing well, which Iota do because that's how their team functions. And on top of that, their team fighting in this second game, or third game it was technically, was so much better than it was last game because we saw ETA team fight super well in game one, get leads and almost have a full advantage, and really they only lost off of a few macro mistakes at like the very end stages of the game. But in this game, they lost both the team fights in the 4v5s and also off the split push, over committing, under committing, just dropping objectives, and on top of that losing these team fights when they had a perfect wombo comp to play. But we mentioned it multiple times in the game. It's a hard comp to play against the champions that Iota had.
Definitely. And so with that does put them in the semifinals, which they are playing against Dragoons next week, but that's not the game we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch the winner of the series on the other side of the bracket. So that could be very interesting as we move forward from here.
Those game results have not been posted yet.
Yeah. My bets would be a rematch versus KNP versus Blind Goblins.
Yes. Which that's the kind of the one I want. I'm not gonna lie, because both those teams are very solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw them play, or we were supposed to see them play at one point.
So
they played each other week 7 and went to 3 games.
Yeah.
But thank you, Marco, for pulling up the playoff bracket yet again, and then it disappeared.
Yes.
I was gonna talk about it as it was up, but it's all good, man. Here it comes. Let's go.
There we go.
We have it on our own
Gaming
screens. All right.
ETA goes to a 3-0. Dorado Gaming advancing to the semifinals. DRG versus Crimson Spartans. They did play already, and Crimson Spartans did lose. DRG winning 3-1. Yeah. So it will be DRG versus Dorado Gaming Iota in the semifinals next Saturday. Still waiting on the results from the next 2 matches, but like Freaking Darter said, that is the match that we are going to be watching next week when we inevitably come back.
I don't mean to sound like also like pessimistic, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Dorado in the finals unless Dragoons were watching this series and saw how that Dorado, or not Dorado, I am correct. They saw how Dorado likes to play in that split push style, and that they have an answer for that. Because I think if you shut down that split push, you do win the game. Because for a hot second, it was shut down for a little bit in that first game that we saw. It's just unfortunate that, just like you said, macro mistakes is what cost them that game. So if Dragoons have something in mind, I think that it'll be fine. But otherwise, I'm expecting we'll see Dorado again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And for sure. I mean, I just don't know what team can really super effectively stop this. You need a really strong top. I think potentially KNP can do a pretty good job at it. I mean, Dark and Warrior did a really good job in the 1v1 in solo lane, just wasn't playing the champions to be able to match Massive inside. And because even in the Poppy game, especially, I mean, 06 on Fiora winning hard inside, gets first tower, just wasn't able to match him because he has to be there for team fights. So I think if you have a player like Dark and Warrior who's able to win the 1v1 or go even in the lane, even in a disadvantageous matchup, you're playing Malphite into Camille and you're even CS for 15 minutes. I think you're doing pretty well. But if you're able to play carry champions to that same level and neutralize top lane, you don't have to put him in the dirt like they did in game 1, because he'll still be a side lane threat even if he's 0 and 20. You just have to be able to be another side lane threat, be able to play champions like Jax, Camille, Fiora, that sort of thing. And I think that'll actually really put pressure on Iota, but they did go undefeated in regular season for a reason.
Yep, and normally we would talk about what's gonna happen next week, but we don't know right now. So it's kind of one of those things we'll just kind of do live, come back next week. Overall, I'm pretty much looking forward to potentially it being KNP4 versus Mind Goblins. That's the one I got going in my head. That's the one I want because those two teams are almost like matched in terms of like skill level. It's just unfortunately Mind Goblins had a couple
Really
of
close.
I think a couple of losses.
They have 2. One of them was to KNP.
KNP, yeah. So in reality, let's say like I think one other game they lost to was just kind of like an
Dragoons,
unfortunate.
yeah.
It was Dragoons, yep. So losing to both of the top teams.
Yep.
So like, see another 2-1 in instance. So like they're close with these
really
top
close.
teams. So this could be exciting. We could potentially have an upset going on in next week. So we also, just in case, I know we normally do an interview, but we're not going to tonight. So sorry if anyone from Dorado was expecting us to talk to you. So our bad on that one.
Yep,
no,
sorry.
actually, no, not our bad. Just kidding.
Not our bad.
Not our bad. All right. Anyway, I got nothing else, boys.
Yeah, neither do I.
Okay.
I mean, there's only one thing that I gotta say, and that is thank you guys for joining us here this Saturday night. You guys could have been out partying, but instead you kind of
it's early enough, still could.
Yeah, no kidding. But you stayed to hang out with the Risen family here with us at the Caster Desk. Thank you, Darter and Freak, as always, for joining us, and our amazing production head for teaming us up, but our producer on the other side of the screen, setting it all up for us week in and week out.
You were going to say his name. I'm like
yeah, no. I said production head, and I realized
leakers?
that was Matt, and I was like, oh no, I'm talking
Any
to Marco.
leakers?
But yes, Marco, appreciate.
There's an event in 3 days that we should be wishing people.
Oh, I'm not dropping that this week.
Oh, what do you mean? You have to say Happy Halloween before Halloween. You can't say it after.
I know.
That's like saying
what?
Merry Christmas on New Year's.
All
Can't
right,
be doing that.
No. People are going to start saying Merry Christmas on November 1st. So, I mean...
Yeah, but that's before. That's before.
No, you're skipping Thanksgiving. See, we can yell about holidays all
See,
we want.
for me, I've already had Thanksgiving. It was like 3 weeks ago, so I'm good.
Either way, happy Halloween, you beautiful people. We love each and every one of you, and we will see you guys next week when it's semifinals time. Take care.